Inside throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown. The game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Thrilled, delighted, excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. We are going to start today's show a little bit different than we usually would. We actually don't have a guest scheduled today on the show. So today's show is a little bit of me, a little bit of Rob, and a little bit of you. 913-586-7965. We have so much to get into in today's show. We're going to talk a little Royals, a little Chiefs. We'll talk a little NBA. We'll also talk a little bit of food. This will just be a normal drive today. Really happy to be here with you today. We are taking you up until 5:30, where we hand things back off to the Kansas City Royals, where hopefully they continue to beat up on the Chicago White Sox, because that is what the Royals do best. Before we get into any of that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. And number two, I need you to tell one friend. It'd be great if you could tell two friends about the show, but you know what? I'm not going to be that picky about it. If you could just tell one person to listen to the show, I will be very, very thrilled if you could do that. All right. I don't actually want to talk about the Chiefs. I don't want to talk about the Royals to begin today's show. I don't even want to talk about the NBA. We're going to start today's show talking minor league baseball. And Jack Caglianone right now is the third most popular player in the Royals organization. Number one, no question, is Bobby Witt Jr. I would say number two is Salvador Perez. He has sort of been the bridge between two generations, the old school and the new school. Well, one of the players that looks like they are going to help carry you into the future is Jack Caglianone. If you missed it, he hit 2 home runs today. It was his first multi-home run as a professional player. Both of them went opposite field. He seems to have all of the tools to be a very productive big league player. If you were looking about how he's performed so far in AA, now the stats I'm going to give you does not include what he's done today. They haven't updated it yet, but coming into today, he was hitting .314, .395 on base percentage, a .543 slug percentage. He now has 8 home runs on the season. He has been phenomenal. He feels like a player that is very quickly about to get called up, not to the big league club, but to AAA, and we'll see if that's the direction that they go. This is where I would like to start today's show. I think we have to keep in mind that this is a business. And I think the business and the best thing that you could possibly do is continue to let the legend of Jack Caglianone grow and grow and grow. Now, you guys are going to hear this like a knock on attendance. I assure you that it's not. There are two things that are going to give the Royals a jolt when it comes to attendance. Number one is the summer. The Royals are the hottest team in baseball right now. They got 12,000 people out there. We don't have to get into all the reasons why, but people don't go to weekday Royals games. But I think we all know that in a couple of weeks, when school is out, when June, July are here, they're going to see an uptick in attendance. There is another card that they are keeping in their pocket for a boom in attendance. It is the major league debut of Jack Caglianone. Let me give you a couple of numbers on why I feel this way. I think we have had 2 of these debuts, at least in recent Royals history. I'm not going to put Bobby Witt Jr. into this conversation because Bobby Witt Jr.'s opening day was opening day. So we already know the attendance is going to be there. Let's look back to Eric Hosmer. I think this is the biggest positional player debut that happened in the middle of the season. I actually do think that Caglianone is going to come up at some point this year. It feels to me like an August kind of move. Eric Hosmer, the game before Eric Hosmer's major league debut, they had 11,000 people out at Kauffman Stadium. They had 30,000 people for Eric Hosmer's debut. The game before Zach Greinke's first start, they had 15,000 people out at Kauffman Stadium. they had 30,000 people there for Zach Greinke's attendance. There is one thing that is a surefire way to get you to the ballpark, and it is going to see him play. That first time, everybody will want to be there. I actually think we can go ahead and mark it. If Jack Caglianone plays for the Royals at any point this season, it will be the biggest day that they've had aside from opening day. Bigger than Big Slick, bigger than when the Cardinals come into town in a couple of weeks, bigger than when Flo Rida is scheduled to perform. It will be the second biggest day that they will have this year. I think it's in their best interest, and simultaneously serving the baseball portion of this, keep letting them have all the success in AA and AAA. Keep them in the news cycle. Keep us talking about Jack Caglianone. Keep him at the forefront of your mind. And eventually, we will let you know on August 11th, it's time. And you will go out there and you will buy the hats and you will buy the jerseys and you will rally around this player who we are adding as a extra chip to give us what we need to go into the playoffs and make a little bit of a run. You got to remember that last year around this time is when the offense started to fall apart. They had the injury to Vinny Pasquantino. They had a lackluster September where they couldn't get the offense going, and their offense was a major reason why. What better jolt, what better kick, what better needed push than a surefire ace you have in your pocket? And that is eventually calling up Jack Caglianone. So I have come around. I'm with you guys. He looks like a player who is very, very close to being major league ready. You are dominating AA. But I think we have a history and a timetable for how the Royals usually do this. I don't think he's coming up immediately. I think he's going to Omaha at some point. I think he'll sell tickets for you in Omaha, and you'll keep building the legend and building the legend and building the legend. And then eventually, at some point when the transition starts from people go to Royals games and then they go back to their normal lives and football is about to start, what better way to keep you interested in the baseball season than bringing up their biggest prospect from a positional standpoint since Bobby Witt Jr. And before that, Eric Hosmer. That's what I think the play is. J.J. Picollo was on Cody and Gold. Here's what he said about Cags and what his timeline could be.
Well, it's certainly we don't have a set date on it. It's just one of those things that when our evaluators are down there, we had a bunch in Springfield this week, make the recommendation to our player development staff that it's time to move Jack to AAA. That's when we'll move him. But those things are so hard to just say it's going to be by this date or by that date. What we want is between now and the time Jack gets to the major leagues, he's as complete of a hitter as he can possibly be. We know how hard it is in the major leagues, watching some of the young guys that are in the major leagues right now really struggling, and that's not the way we want to break Jack into the big leagues. It doesn't mean he won't struggle, but we want him to be as prepared as he possibly can. And a lot of that comes down to swing decisions, understanding what the situations are, really no different than any other hitter. Jack's just clearly very talented and is on a faster track than most guys would be.
I think that faster track brings him up here at some point this season. I think at some point, I don't think we're there yet, even though fans would like for us to be there. And honestly, I'd like for them to be there. I'd love this weekend. Hey, they got the Red Sox coming into town and Jack Caglianone's going to make his major league debut. Hopefully they make his major league debut in a day game that starts at 1 o'clock. I'd love it if that happened. Trust me, I'm on your side. I think they're playing this thing correctly. I think you keep letting it cook down in the minor leagues. You keep the conversation going, and eventually, when you are going to hit a lull in attendance, I think you pull out your big guns. And I think Jack Caglianone is on this team at some point in August as the kiddos are starting to transition back to school, as the Royals normally see a bump back to their regular attendance numbers, and fan interest usually shifts to the football team. What will keep you engaged the entire baseball season? I think it's him. I think the legend is starting to grow with days like today, with days like this weekend, when there's a promotion for people to go down there to see you and you hit a home run while they're there. I think it's starting with Jack Caglianone. It has been very, very fun to see how this thing is starting to grow, and I think it is about to hit a fever pitch at some point here in the next 90 days or so. You guys know the rules. If we kick off the show with the Royals, it can only mean one thing. Hit me, Rob.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to that Zach Greinke debut. His first home game as a Royal in 2004. We're on his opening start at Kauffman. The Royals beat the Twins 2-1. Here's today's Random Royals lineup.
I cannot wait for this.
Leading off, the shortstop, Angel Baroa. Batting second, the center fielder, Carlos Beltran. Batting third, the first baseman, Mike Sweeney.
These are the Royals that I love so much.
Batting fourth, in right field, Matt Stairs.
Another Royals legend.
He's very popular right now from that Instagram account, Random Royals Clips, because there's a clip of him pegging Ken Harvey. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
I feel like a pause is due. It's somewhere in what you just said, but you know what? Let's move on.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, the aforementioned Ken Harvey. Batting sixth.
Why was Ken Harvey trying to set a screen on the baseball field? I don't know if I'll ever figure that out.
How do you get caught behind a tarp? People just ask questions that you don't have the answer to.
I don't know. And it sounds, you said he got pegged, which doesn't sound like a good position to be in.
Batting sixth, the third baseman, Joe Randa. Friend of the show, Joe Randa.
He is?
He's been on 3 times.
Okay, friend of the show then.
Not the best friend of the show, but he's a friend.
I forgot. It's been a while.
Those were dark, but he was a lot of, hey, the Royals are 22-61. Let's talk to Joe Randa.
Joe Randa, I hope you're having a great day.
Batting seventh, the catcher, Benito Santiago.
Royals legend.
Batting eighth, the second baseman, Tony Graffanino.
Tony G.
And batting ninth, the left fielder, Byron Geddes.
Oh my! You know how long it's been since I've heard of Byron Geddes?
That sounds like an MLB 2K The Show creative player.
It does sound like a generated name for a player.
By the way, Zach Greinke was great in his first start at the K, going 7 innings, only giving up 1 earned.
I was at that game against the Twins.
The bullpen needed 3 different arms to hold it down, but they did win on this date. On Zach Greinke's home debut. They did it in a walk-off, no less.
How much right now if somebody from the Royals Authentic called and said, hey, we got a Tony Graffanino game-worn jersey. We want to sell it to you. How much are you paying for the Tony Graffanino game-worn?
I mean, it's a low number. I mean, it's not the lowest number. Byron Geddes is going to be a lower number.
If they called me with the Byron Geddes game-worn, I would be offended. You're not just going to offer it to me? I just can't have it for free?
Also, those are the vest jerseys, so like they're extra goofy looking just to have.
Those are even better. I'm hanging that one up. All right, coming up on the other side, it might be the most reckless segment that we have ever done, but I still want to do it. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Men, here's the truth. In the bedroom, good enough isn't really good enough, is it? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if your erectile dysfunction is making intimacy less enjoyable for you and your partner, give us a call today. Because whether your ED only happens sometimes or all the time, it's time to stop good enough and time to start really good. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. Whether it's only mild or moderate, or even if it's severe, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we have a variety of treatments and can even combine protocols, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in a long time. You could even even last up to an hour or more and make sex great again for you and your partner. So make an appointment and be done with good enough. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy. Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents how to hit summer's sweet spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our Stack Summer lineup. Hurry in today because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Dominate your fantasy baseball league with Fantasy Baseball Today, part of the CBS Sports Podcast Network. Join Scott White, Chris Towers, and me, Frank Stanfill, every weekday as we recap every player from every game. We'll get you the latest news, waiver wire adds and drops, trades to make, prospect promotions, and everything else you need to take down your league. Follow and listen to Fantasy Baseball Today on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
All right. Some of you believe in jinxes. I don't really know if this show believes in that, and I think we have a lot of history and track record that would convince you guys that this show is actually the opposite of a jinx. If we have you on the show, it is usually a boost to your career. If we talk about you or discuss you, things normally will work out for you. So we're going to do a segment that tests that theory. Now, maybe at the end of the day, Rob and I will proven to have been wrong. But I don't know about that. I asked Rob to make a list of some of the things that have happened since the last time that the White Sox beat the Royals in a baseball game. Just because I wanted to put into context how long it's been. Now, I understand it's baseball, and they could lose today to the White Sox. But I just want to put into some kind of time frame how long it's been, and how dominant the Royals have been against the White Sox. We have had 2 NFL drafts take place since the last time the White Sox beat the Royals. In fact, we had the draft, training camp, an entire NFL season, the entire postseason, the Super Bowl, and then another NFL draft, and the White Sox still have not beaten the Royals in that time. You know how long of a time period we're talking about for all of those things to happen? The last time that the White Sox beat the Royals was April 17th of last year. April 17th. It's May 6th of 2025. They got shut out yesterday by the Royals. The Royals own the Chicago White Sox. We had a presidential election since then. Our show was on a completely different radio station the last time that this had happened. We had the entire Drake and Kendrick beef. Kendrick released an album, performed some of the album at the Super Bowl, and then started his own tour. They still haven't beaten the Royals in that time frame. Taylor Swift released an album and then followed the entire Chiefs season in that time frame. We had the Summer Olympics since then. Puff Daddy was a free man the last time that the White Sox beat the Royals in a baseball game. His trial started yesterday. He was walking around free. Still haven't beaten him. We didn't know who the Hawk 2 girl was. We saw the entire character arc of the Hawk 2 young lady. We didn't know who she was. We then saw the viral clip. We then tried to figure out who she was. We figured out who she was. She supposedly scammed these people on the internet, even though no one has actually said they got scammed or invested in it. It's very odd and weird to me. She's now reappeared and is famous again. Still, White Sox haven't beaten the Royals. We could keep going, but you guys get the point. It's been a long time since that team has beaten the Kansas City Royals. They own them. The same way that the Chiefs, there's a stretch where it was a long period of time in which the Broncos didn't beat the Chiefs. I'm sure there's other examples. But the White Sox hate to see the Royals coming. They really do. They really hate to see them coming. I believe they've beaten them now 11 times in a row. This is baseball we're talking about. Doesn't matter. Rob, anyone you want to throw out? Rob, you weren't even married the last time this happened.
I was still...
You're about to celebrate your year anniversary.
I'm going to say, I don't know. I'd sent invites out. It would have been April of 24. Invites may have just started hitting people's mailboxes.
I don't think I had one.
I don't think you were. I definitely wasn't married. I was still engaged. Also, it was the day 2 of a doubleheader, so it wasn't like we were really, ooh, I wonder how the Royals and White Sox were doing. That's been a long, long time.
Crazy. That's how long it's been.
Honestly, that highlights the White Sox futility.
I don't think there's a better example of this, honestly. You guys couldn't wait to do this until tomorrow? No, I didn't want to. That's how confident I am in the Royals and that they'll continue to take care of business against the White Sox because the White Sox stink. I'm serious. They stink. They're bad. They're real bad. Someone on the text line says KU basketball was still good the last time the White Sox beat the Royals. You're right. No question. We still consider Bill Self to be the best college basketball coach the last time that this happened. Rob still liked Hunter Dickinson the last time that this had happened. How quickly things change.
By the way, if you're scared of the Royals losing tonight, they are minus 230 favorites with Seth Lugo on the hill. So it's not like Vegas is thinking, oh boy, the Drive is talking about the streak. Let's cower in fear.
Luka Doncic took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals and got traded since this has happened. That's how long ago it has been. It has been a lot has happened since April 17th of last year. And I just wanted to highlight that. I wanted to bring that to you guys' attention because maybe you didn't know. Maybe you had no clue. That's why I'm here, to inform you. I was thinking this earlier in the show. The White Sox, they're not the worst team to cheer for. I think the Oakland A's or the Las Vegas A's or I don't know what they are anymore. They're just the Athletics. That's the worst team you could cheer for. So follow me here. Let's say that there was like a wheel of fortune that you had to just completely start over. You couldn't be a Royals fan. You couldn't be a Chiefs fan. You couldn't be a Broncos fan, whatever team you cheer for, right? And every team was on the wheel. Every team. And now you walk up to the wheel and you got to spin it. You know the sound that the Wheel of Fortune wheel makes. And when it lands on that team now becomes your favorite team, your number one team. This is the team that you ride or die with. This is the team you are most passionate about. The A's would be the worst pick. Absolute worst pick. Their old stadium was bad. Their current stadium is bad. They haven't started building their new stadium. They play in a real minor league park. Seems miserable to cheer for the A's. Chicago might be too, man. Chicago might be the second worst team to cheer for. Nobody chooses to be a White Sox fan. If you're from Chicago, you choose to cheer for the Cubs. Everybody in Chicago is a Cubs fan. If you've ever been to Chicago and you see where the Cubs play and all the excitement around it, and then you see where the White Sox play, I don't know why you would ever choose to cheer for the Chicago White Sox. It seems like a really bad choice if that's the one that you got. If you spun the wheel and it landed and the White Sox are your favorite team, I would say that is akin to hitting bankruptcy in fan, you lost. That's the worst team to cheer for.
Are all the worst teams baseball teams? Like, if we were to rank the bottom 5, like, what's the thing Pat 40 does on Yahoo? Like, the bottom 10 during college football season? KU was a staple in that for a long time. I kept track of those rankings.
I watched them play last year. They maybe should have made an appearance.
They weren't. I mean, at one point they did, but they weren't as bad as I've seen last year. If you were creating the Pat 40 race to the bottom for franchises to cheer for, it's a lot of baseball. The A's, I think the Angels are on that list. Imagine being an Angels fan. I think being a White Sox fan would stink. I think being a Rays fan would stink. I think probably the Browns are the worst NFL franchise. I think the Trailblazers, the Hornets, like, there's a lot of franchises where if you were like, oh, man, I guess I got to go be a fan of that franchise, you would hate your life. Hate it, hate it, hate it. And by the way, the Royals are not some, beacon of greatness of our lives. There are far worse franchises to be straddled with than the Royals.
Yeah, this is what I would say. Oh. And I think you make a very, very strong point about how a majority of the worst teams that you could get, like it being your number one favorite team, would be baseball teams. They'd be baseball teams. Like, if you spun the wheel and you got the Miami Marlins as your number one ride or die favorite team, that stinks. It stinks. I can't imagine every night your emotion is based off how the Miami Marlins do. I can't imagine. Chicago, the A's, bad choices. I actually don't know it would be that bad if you got any NFL team. I'm serious. I don't know it would be that bad. It wouldn't be great. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you spun this and you got the Cleveland Browns, I mean, I wouldn't be happy that I got Cleveland. They just made the playoffs not too long ago. They won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. It's still football. I mean, how miserable can it be if your favorite team, I mean, they only lose, 13 times a year, 14 times a year? The Chicago White Sox lost 120 times last year. Every day, you're just watching them get pummeled. I don't know, man. It's low. It's very, very low on the list.
Here's the thing. I think you're letting your I like football more than baseball bias show here, because let's say you're straddled with the Rays. They're a team that they don't have any fans in their city. You're telling me the following experience is worse than being a Browns fan? Wake up, my team stinks. I go to the ballpark. It's the summer in Tampa Bay. It's outside. I watch my team lose 6-3. That was no good. I leave the ballpark, and then I go to the beach in Tampa Bay. You're telling me that's a worse fan experience than wake up in Cleveland? So far, it's the worst. Then you're going to that dump of a stadium they're about to rebuild. You watch the Browns lose in the snow to the Steelers, who can't score, 6-3. same score, then you drive home and you're in Cleveland in December. That's worse.
Yeah, but we're only now judging it based off where you live and not the team. Like, cheering for the New Orleans Pelicans sounds pretty bad. But, I mean, you're also a mile and a half from Bourbon Street. I mean, it can't be that bad to cheer for the New Orleans Pelicans. So, yeah, if we are basing on location and where you live, sure, cheering for some of those teams sounds like it's worse. I'm talking about the enjoyment from you watching them every single day and following their team. And we all are fans in a way. Your team and how they do it affects your emotion. It affects your day. It affects your week. Your relationship with your friends are based off what team you cheer for. There are some fan bases that you know people are fans of. Maybe you don't live in Pittsburgh, but you know other Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You know Raiders fans. You know Packers fans. There is one of those fan bases. You ain't never met somebody that cheers for the Miami Marlins. I've been to Miami and I don't know anybody. I didn't see anybody that cheers for the Miami Marlins. It doesn't sound fun. Doesn't sound fun. And someone on the text line makes a good point. At least when you stink in football, there is a level of excitement to getting the number 1 overall pick. Nobody in baseball care when you get the number 1 overall pick. Sure, it could end up working out. You could get, Bobby Witt Jr. You could get one of those guys, but it's also not fun to lose throughout the course of the season. I'm telling you, it would stink. It'd be the worst.
I mean, but you know fans as well as I do. They might not care about the number 1 overall pick, but they would find some prospect in their system to hype up.
100%.
There have been some bad Royals teams, and Royals fans got all hot and bothered by players in their farm system that we thought were going to be good. Remember when the Royals were kicking the ball around every night in 2019, and they brought up Nicky Lopez? He's hitting like 350 in Omaha. Royals fans would have thought they, found water in the desert with Nicky Lopez. So there's that same excitement. It's just transferred energy. It's not the draft, but that same excitement does exist with the farm system. So that's 1 for 1. And 2, you know this, if you are a fan of a franchise, you think the worst. You're telling me that you're cheering for the Browns, you're the number 3 overall pick, and you think my franchise is going to nail the pick? I have confidence. There were Chiefs fans that don't believe Brett Veach can draft an offensive lineman. You're telling me Browns fans had hope and optimism that at, 2 or 3 overall, they were going to nail it? I bet most Browns fans were preparing for the GM to do something wrong, which kind of sort of happened on draft night when they passed up on Travis Hunter.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, you don't know Marlins man? You know Marlins mans for going to everybody else's game except Marlins games. Every other one. You don't know Marlins man because, that's that guy that's always at the Marlins game. Man, he's such a diehard Marlins fan. You know Marlins fan because he's sitting courtside at the Lakers game, because he's right behind home plate at the Royals World Series. You don't know Marlins man because he cheers for the Marlins. He's not like that Mattress Mac guy. Mattress Mac, I'm all things Texas. I'm betting on everything Houston, everything Texas. I'm keeping it that way. That's not how you know Marlins man. No, he's not a real Marlins fan. Not at all. Absolutely not. Rob, can you give me a little bit of music here? Because I have a toss-up question that I would like to ask you that is a drive staple. This is something that we do on the show. Can you hit me with a little bit of music, please? Arby's is adding something to the menu, something that I would potentially like to try. They have prime rib steak nuggets. Is this fair or foul? Is this something that you would like to try and have us give a review?
So, is it similar to like a chicken fried steak nugget? Is that the theory?
I've never had a chicken fried steak nugget in my entire life. I don't know if it's an insult.
You've had a chicken fried steak, though, right? You've had chicken fried steak. Well, let's work step by step. Have you had chicken fried steak?
It's been a while since I've had it, but yes, I've had it.
First off, chicken fried steak, elite food, terrible for you, not an everyday food, but let's not hate on chicken fried steak. It's very good, so let's get that out there and in the open. If it's similar to a chicken fried steak, but in nugget form, and I can dunk it in some, white gravy, I would try it on the show for the sake of trying it. I don't know. I'd be like, you know what I got to get tonight, honey? I've got to go to Arby's and get this prime rib nugget. I don't know. I'm itching for it, but I would 100% try it on the show.
I will say, it does kind of intrigue me a little bit. I am kind of interested in this. I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong here. There's a lot that can go wrong with the Arby's prime rib steak nugget. There's a lot. But you know what? I think we might have to give this a try. There's an Arby's not that far from here. There's an Arby's right down the street. Where's our guy Mitchell Schwartz? Can we have him on to do a Fast Food Friday to try these prime ribs?
When does it hit shelves? We can absolutely text Mitch.
I don't know. Fast food prime ribs sounds like a lot could go wrong.
I also have my doubts about the quality of the prime rib.
I have questions about all 4 words in this: prime rib, steak, and nuggets. I have so many questions about this.
That's why I'm curious. Nuggets makes you think fried food. So I was like, I wonder if it's a chicken fried steak, but it doesn't say it's a fried thing. So like, what is it beef jerky? Cause like just a nugget of prime rib is just a piece of meat, right?
I don't know, man. You know what Arby's is doing? Arby's is trying to expand its bag. You're doing too many dribble moves. I need you to just be able to hit a basic crossover, knock down the jumper. You know what you should stick to? The ham and cheese and the curly fries and a shake. I'm not getting adventurous on the Arby menu too many times. I'm not, no.
What kind of shake, though? You rocking with the Jamocha shake?
Gotta get the Jamocha.
Okay.
That's the only one that they serve other kinds?
I presume. I don't know.
Prime rib steak nuggets. All right, we're going to give this. Can you write this down? Let's set up a time with Mitchell Schwartz, and let's try the prime rib steak nuggets that are now available at Arby's.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we got a lot of fast food options hitting the world. The McCrispy strips are out at McDonald's.
The what?
The McCrispy.
I've never heard of these.
You didn't know the McCrispy strips were out?
No, I did not know this.
So McDonald's, instead of bringing back the snack wrap, which people have been clamoring for.
I do kind of remember the snack wrap. People did like the snack wrap.
People acted like the snack wrap was the greatest thing ever. It is very good. They now brought, instead of chicken nuggets, they have added chicken strips to their menu. They are calling them the McCrispy chicken strips at McDonald's. They are a new item for the summer.
You know what? I'm actually willing to give that a try.
I mean, it's just chicken strips.
Yeah, I'm just saying that doesn't sound that bad. And McDonald's actually does chicken all right. I'm willing to. I got an open mind about this. Usually, I don't have an open mind. I got an open mind about the McChicken. What is it called? McCrispy chicken?
McCrispy chicken strips.
I hadn't heard. This is my first time hearing this. I didn't know that this was a new thing.
You know what? Sometimes the text line does a lot of good for the show. They're pointing out all the items that are now available at fast food restaurants this summer. Like, for example, Taco Bell is now experimenting with chicken nuggets.
Are we trying those? The Taco Bell chicken nuggets?
Taco Bell doesn't miss a lot. We don't talk about it, but they have a very high hit rate.
I don't disagree with you. I'm simply asking if that's something that we're going to try.
I mean, if you're going to make me try whatever prime rib fingers or whatever
prime
it is.
Rib steak nuggets.
Yeah, if I'm trying that, I might as well try chicken nuggets from Taco Bell.
All right. You know what? Why don't we give them a try? Why don't we make a list? Write down some of these things, and why don't we kind of tally up 4 or 5 different things that we want to try from some of these fast food restaurants, and then in June we'll make that transition and we'll bring back Fast Food Fridays, because I actually am very interested in trying these prime rib steak nuggets. They sound like they could be tasty.
People are raving about the chicken nuggets from Taco Bell. It sounds like we have a couple different options to get us over.
Raving is nuts. It's a little crazy.
Taco Bell nugs with their fire ranch is beyond good.
Rob, let me ask you, when's the last time you went out to eat and you ordered the chicken fried steak?
I actually did it recently. Where was I?
Oh, my goodness.
It was relatively recently. It was like we went to a bar. We were watching a game, me and my wife. We went to a bar, and it was chicken fried steak night. So I got myself.
You ordered the chicken fried steak from a sports bar?
Yeah, that did happen. Now, yep.
Kansas basketball it's really it's really sent you down a dark path, a path of no return.
No, this was post KU basketball.
I know it was. I know you they got you still in a stupor. That's what they have you. You're in a stupor. That is nuts. I cannot imagine. What'd you drink with it? You had an IPA and a chicken fried steak?
What did I have? It wasn't an IPA, but it was heavy. I think it was a stout.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I remember walking out being very full between the gravy and the stout and just feeling a little bit full.
I can't imagine to go to the sports bar to get a hearty meal.
It was their special. They're like, hey, it's chicken fried steak Thursday or whatever it was. And I was like, well, hold on now. You're speaking my language.
You want to know where you would never get that as a special? The other place, the 5 locations around town. You'll never get the chicken fried steak from there. Goodness gracious.
And even if they had it, I would get it. You wouldn't be adventurous enough to try it. You would just be like, I want to stick to my plain nachos.
You're right. I was going to try to think of something. You're right. I probably wouldn't try it. Hey, Karen, you know what? Hey, I like what I get right now. It's great, actually. I appreciate everything you guys do over at the other place. I would tell you to get the cheesesteak pizza. Big fan of the cheesesteak pizza. All right, coming up on the other side, let's get to our NBA Minute. And you know what? Game 1 of the series have been phenomenal. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
This postseason, BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA, is making first field goal scorer wagers more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite baller to score the first field goal, only to see him dish the rock to his teammate for the easy layup? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first field goal scorer scores second instead. That's right, simply bet on any player to score the first field goal during any playoff game. If you're right, you win, but if your pick scores second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Keep the hoop dreams alive this NBA playoffs, even if your bet misses. Grab the chance at getting your stake back at BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education. But that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
If severe weather hit you last year, don't worry, Century Roofing is here. We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements to celebrate our 35th anniversary. We'll provide an in-depth inspection to determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim with your insurance company. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Press the pillars of strength, KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane, or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Hey everybody, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers, featuring Skechers' new Contour Foam, a soft, cushy footbed that shapes your foot when you walk, softening every step.
Best of all, they have slip-in technology so I can just step in and go with no bending down and no touching my shoes. once I start walking, this is like contour foam is hugging my foot. And normally I don't like hugs, but when it's my Cozy Fit's doing it, I'm all in. Hug away, shoes. Hug away.
You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slippers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear happens to be sold. Nice spot, Howie. Give me a hug. Give me a hug, baby.
Oh, I'm being hugged.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Expect mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 75.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about how quickly things can change. But before we do that, you know what? I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the NBA. And I believe, now I could be wrong, that one of the complaints that people have about the NBA is at times the NBA can be a tad bit predictable. Oh, I don't need to watch it. I already know what's going to happen. The same teams win all the time. Those are things that people say about the NBA. I don't know if that's accurate anymore. I mean, look at the playoffs so far. In the Western Conference, the 6 and the 7 seed won their opening series. Think to game 1 of series round number 2. 2 of the biggest favorites on the board. Cleveland, massive favorite in their series. Celtics, massive favorite in their series. Oklahoma City, massive favorites in their series. All 3 of them lost game 1 on their home floor. And if you are somebody that buys into the numbers or someone that buys into the percentages, if you win game 1 in the NBA in a 7-game series, you win the series 77% of the time. History tells you all 3 of these teams that went down 0-1 are not all winning their series. Now, sure, maybe the Celtics come back. Maybe the Thunder end up coming back. History tells you 1 of those 3 teams are losing in this round of the NBA playoffs. Maybe 2 of the teams are losing in this. If you had to ask me which one seems the most likely, I think it's Cleveland. I've thought this about Cleveland all season. We've seen this before in sports. The 1 seed that gets off to a really hot start in the regular season, but necessarily aren't playoff and battle tested to navigate the 2nd season. That feels like Cleveland. I think they're the most likely one, the Pacers, to pull off the upset in round 1. Rob, do you agree? I know you like Cleveland. I know that's your squad. Out of the teams that are down 0-1 right now, history says if you lose game 1 in the NBA in a 7-game series, you lose 77% of the time. So Denver is up 1-0, the Knicks are up 1-0, and the Pacers are up 1-0. Which one of those teams do you think is most likely to win their series and advance to either the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference final?
I think it's the Denver Nuggets. Because I get what you're saying about the Cavs. I really do. I understand it. I understand the logic. I disagree with it. I think the Cavs were the best team in the NBA or the Eastern Conference this year. They struggled with the Pacers. I think they were 1-3 this season against the Pacers. Like, some of the Pacers is a struggle for them, and I get it. And their health also creates another element. Like, Evan Mobley's questionable. Darius Garland didn't play in game 1. He's questionable. Like, there are things to be leery of, but in the NBA, one of the reasons why you poo-pooed when I said, why are people disrespecting Cleveland and the Thunder, is you said you kind of have to have guys who have done it before. And when you look at the Thunder and you look at the Cavs, they do not have a plethora of guys who've done it before. Well, let's go to the Thunder and Nuggets series. You know what the Nuggets have?
Guys that have won a championship.
And it's not just like Jokic has done it and he's like trying to teach everyone.
Basically, their whole core. Yeah.
The roster has done it. Now, the coach was on the staff, but he wasn't the head coach when it happened. I know the GM's been fired, but that group at its core is the same core that won an NBA title going away, 2 years ago? Like, you talk about the Browns were a playoff team 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we had Josh Dover on the show, and he was gloating and celebrating about how the Nuggets are NBA champs and this, that, and the other. I think they stole game one, and they stole game one on what a lot of people think was a coaching blunder by the Thunder. Didn't mean to rhyme there. But I think the Nuggets are the team where you would be like, ooh, I think they have the best shot because of the history.
I'm looking at the NBA schedule, and I think you can make an argument that this time right now, and not just specifically to the entire playoffs, I mean this round of the postseason, I think you can make the argument that this is the best stretch in the NBA. For essentially the next 10 days, you got 2 games every night of high-level basketball. Basically, 2 games a night for the next 10 days. Today, you got game 2 between the Pacers and the Cavs. You got game 1 between Golden State and Minnesota. Coming up tomorrow, you get game 2 of Knicks and Celtics, and also Thunder and Nuggets. So, 3 teams that desperately need to win. You cannot fall down 0-2 now heading back to your opponent's venue and needing to win both of those games to make it a series. So you got, I know it's the playoffs, so all of these games are must win, but it can't get much more must win for Cleveland, Boston, or Oklahoma City. Do all 3 of those teams win? So I know that sometimes people's feeling about the NBA is it's pretty predictable, and we can just fast forward to the NBA Finals. I think we've kind of reached the point where, yes, Boston is a favorite. Cleveland is a favorite. I don't know if there's that much of a gap, though, between most of the top teams in the NBA and the other good teams, where even if you're a team like Minnesota, you got Anthony Edwards, has got some playoff experience. You mentioned Denver as a team. Denver was a 5 seed out west, but they got Nikola Jokic, who is the best player in the NBA. The talent is just so dispersed right now in the NBA that I think makes it a really, really interesting product right now. So I want to tell you guys really quickly that we have a poll up, and we'll talk more about this poll coming up in just a little bit. This is the question. You can turn Jalen Royals into Demarcus Robinson for the upcoming season. I looked up Demarcus Robinson's averages. That are 30 catches for 352 yards and 3 touchdowns. You can just press the button right now. You can lock that in for Jalen Royals. 30 catches, 352 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Would you press the button? So if you go on our Twitter page on 96.5 The Fan, you can take a vote. Right now, yes is at 70%, no is at 30%. If you would take that number for Jalen Royals. We'll talk a little bit more football coming up at the top of the hour, but I at least want to give you guys the opportunity to vote in that poll. You could turn Jalen Royals into Demarcus Robinson for the upcoming season. His averages in Kansas City were 30 catches, 352, and 3 touchdowns. Is that something that you would take? Another thing that I want to read to you guys before we get back to the Chiefs coming up at the top of the hour. This is from Rainey Gisarelli, an incredible stat. The Royals have called up 5 pitchers from the minor leagues this season. Those 5 pitchers, Rob, have combined to throw 21 2/3 innings. They have allowed 7 hits and 0 runs. The Royals, I think for most of our lifetime, have tried to figure out starting pitching. They've tried to figure it out. And at times, maybe they had 1 or 2, but the problem has always been the depth and quality of arms that you have been able to accumulate. That once an injury happens or if something goes left, that is usually when things go off the track. They appear to be in a really good situation where if you lost Seth Lugo for 3 starts, I think you would be able to manage it as an organization. Like what the Royals have been able to build up from a starting pitching standpoint, from a bullpen standpoint, and also what they've built up in the minors. I mean, this gives you a foundation where you can compete from a game in, game out basis. I remember this, like he just said it. And he said this before. John Sherman has said, well, Dayton always talked to me about the championship. Well, What's it like to be a consistent wild card team? Because if you consistently get into the postseason, you never know what can happen. You give yourself a chance to do something special. I would say to strip that down even more, if you can pitch on a day in, day out basis, you give yourself a chance to minimize the advantages that other teams have over you. Yes, the Yankees have more talent than the Royals, but if you can match up from them from a pitching perspective against that lineup, you give yourself a pretty decent chance. The Royals had a chance in last year's series. They just didn't hit well enough to give themselves an opportunity to actually win the series. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's get back to football. And sometimes, you know what? You get what you want, and it just isn't what you thought it was going to be. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. KC Tech Council has 3,000 IT jobs open in March alone. 3,000. Centric can train you to do one of those jobs.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, don't waste your time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you over $100 just to start. Visit our TRT experts today at the Low T Center for a free consultation and free test. Treatment is personalized to your body, and most major insurance is accepted with the freedom to choose if you want in-center care or at-home treatment. You're in control of your health. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start your prescription treatment. Offer limited. Look now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Harrah's Kansas City Casino is giving away $700 every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th. And at 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will win $7,000. With over $77,000 in prizes, there are so many ways to win. Only at Harrah's Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Clean Car Month. Right now, get the Pro X1 Car Care Collection Wash Kit for just $19.99, exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents how to hit summer's sweet spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our Stacked Summer lineup. Hurry in today because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Take me out to my TV on FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah. Royals games, announcers, and more Royals games. Did I mention they have the Royals? Stream now.
What's up, KC? This is Matt Quattrero. On your way home from the ballpark, make sure to listen to Vern's postgame show right here on 96.5 The Fan. I will not be listening.
96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right. I want to talk to you guys about how sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So you guys remember back in the day when Tyreek Hill first left the Kansas City Chiefs, when Tyreek first left, he talked about Tua like he was the best quarterback in the National Football League. He was going on his own podcast. He was going on anybody's television show that would listen to tell you that Tua had a good arm and Tua was as accurate as any quarterback in the league, how great of a deep ball that Tua had. This was Tyreek 3 years ago talking about how he was underutilized in the Chiefs offense.
We felt that Tyreek was underutilized and wasn't fully appreciated. They really weren't taking full advantage of all of his ability and talent. But Tyreek was a real champion and handled it, but it was frustrating on many occasions. After a number of games, Tyreek and I would communicate, and it was frustrating that he wasn't given a chance to do more to help the team in their efforts to win games. And Tyreek's a very unselfish player and is the consummate team player. But there were a lot of things during this season that just felt like there wasn't the same commitment to him.
I would like to point out that in Tyreek's last season in Kansas City, they threw him the ball 159 times. He had almost 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns and was a part of a team that went to and won Super Bowls while he was here. So, but he and his agent don't feel like he was being utilized correctly, and that's perfectly fine. He also said that Tua throws one of the best deep balls that he has ever been a part of.
I mean, it's nothing weird. You know, at first I thought it was going to be something crazy, the ball going all over the place, but Tua actually has, you know, probably one of the prettiest balls I've ever caught in my life. So it's very catchable. Tua is a very accurate quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
And you guys remember the tour that Tyreek went on he was very happy to be playing for the Miami Dolphins. And a couple of years ago, it was all good to play for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, he got thrown the ball 171 times. He had almost 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns. He led the NFL in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. Tyreek averaged 112 yards a game. Tyreek was the best wide receiver. Now Tyreek's 30. Tyreek had 959 yards last year. Tyreek had averaged 56 yards per game last year, almost cut his production in half. Tyreek has been insinuating this entire offseason that he doesn't want to play for the Dolphins anymore. You guys remember that little press conference he had right after the end of the season? And now, after doing all of that talk about Tua, about how great his deep ball was, about how accurate it was, how he was throwing the ball right in his breadbasket, now he's giving his top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and you can't include your mans?
Said, could I rank my top 5 quarterbacks? Lamar, Josh, Pat, obviously. No, this is no order, by the way. Baker Mayfield and Joe Shiesty, too.
You got Baker Mayfield over your boy. I understand those first 4, and we'll get to that in a minute, but you can't even include your mans. I'm going to include Rob in anything. Hey, top 5, Rob. That's my guy. It was all good a couple of years ago when you were the toast of the league. You was making all the money. You was getting all the passes. You were doing all the media. Things were going great. Now nobody's talking about the Dolphins anymore. You're not going to be the first pick in fantasy. And now look at you acting out. Your man's not even a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League anymore. If we had done this list a year ago, I bet you he would have been there when you were having 1,800 yards. All downhill. All downhill. This is what I do want to talk to you guys about. I actually think the top 5 quarterback conversation in the NFL right now is fairly interesting. I think the top 4 is set. I'm not here to argue with you the order that you have them in, but it is some combination of Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. You can determine the order in which you think those top 4 should go. You got Mahomes 1, great. You got Lamar. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But those are the top 4 quarterbacks in the National Football League. The debate really gets interesting at 5. Now, to Tyreek's credit, I don't think that Tua is on the short list of top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League, so I can only be so mad at you for telling us what we already know. But if you are rounding out the top 5 right now, there's probably, 6 quarterbacks that make a pretty strong argument to be in that top 5 and to round out that list. I think you have to include Jalen Hurts based on what we just saw him do in the Super Bowl and what we just saw him do this postseason. I think that Justin Herbert, from a physical standpoint, from a numbers standpoint, certainly has an argument for it. I'm not making the argument for Justin Herbert. He's fooled me too many times in the past, and I'm done. I'm done selling you Justin Herbert because he is not selling anything worth buying. He is James Harden is who he has been. That's who he has been. Same initials, same regular season production, same postseason disappointment. I'm out on Justin Herbert. But if you want to argue the numbers, okay. He certainly has played at a top 5 level. I think you'd argue Jaden Daniels, even though I think it's pretty early to be having that conversation. I would make an argument for C.J. Stroud. Not really sure, Rob, if you want to make an argument for C.J. Stroud. You don't seem like you're as much of a believer that I am in C.J. Stroud. I think Jared Goff obviously has a claim to that as well. And maybe this is my pride and it won't let me allow this person to just walk away. I still think a healthy Matthew Stafford is in the conversation of top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League, and you're not going to be able to convince me otherwise on why I should remove Matthew Stafford from that conversation.
I mean, I'm just going to skirt past the nonsense comment there about Matthew Stafford because nothing about Matthew Stafford's stats last season even begin to indicate he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like, he had 20 touchdowns and 8 picks last year on 3,700 yards. If I erased the name and told you that's Alex Smith in San Francisco, it's the same. That there was nothing about Matt Stafford last year that says, ooh, watch out for top 5. I actually think 5 is Jared Goff. I think now maybe Jared Goff is a Ben Johnson creation, and we will look back and I'll sound like an idiot because I said it's Jared Goff. But Jared Goff, since going to Detroit, has been one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and there's been a little bit of consistency in that franchise, and it has all circled around the time he showed up. Now, I don't know that he's like he's good enough to win a Super Bowl by himself. I don't know that's him, but I think statistically indicate it's him or Jalen Hurts. And if you want to have Hurts at 5 because Super Bowls reign supreme, cool. I'm not going to stop you there either. But I think those are the two names. I don't think Stroud's in that conversation anymore. I'm lower on Stroud than most. I don't think Herbert is, because Herbert's, LaMelo Ball. It's the epitome of empty calories. It's like we talked about yesterday, the Ochai Agbaji in Toronto. Who cares? No one sees it happen. It never happens when the moment matters. I think it's Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts for 5. And if you want to tell me rings matter, cool, you can have Hurts. But if you want to tell me consistency matters, then it's Goff. I think those are the two.
But I think the rings have to matter for Jalen Hurts, because in an era, in a generation where not too many quarterbacks are taking their team to the Super Bowl, he's done it twice and has played well in both Super Bowls. Like someone just sent in, Jalen Hurts didn't do a lot, but the Eagles did. I don't know how you can say that. Jalen Hurts was 17 of 22. He completed 77% of his pass, threw 2 touchdowns, and also ran for 70 yards and scored another touchdown. He dominated the Chiefs defense. I don't want to hear he got carried. No, he was a major part of what they were doing. Now, yes, they have put a lot around Jalen Hurts, but you still got to go out there and execute, and he did this postseason. So Hurts is in the conversation. Now, I wouldn't put him at number 5, but if you complete 71% of your passes in 4 postseason games and you account for 10 touchdowns and 1 turnover, you can't tell me you're not in the argument of being one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. So I think you got to put Hurts there. If you're asking me definitively to pick one of these guys, I think the answer is Jared Goff. I think right now, there are clearly 4 quarterbacks that you feel they could do it in a bunch of different situations. You could take Mahomes off Kansas City and put him on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a legitimate Super Bowl contending team. I think there's 4 quarterbacks that fit that criteria. And then I would say after that, you have a group of about 6 to 8 quarterbacks that feel like, hey, if you put them in the right situation on the right team, you can make things go. We've seen that with Jalen Hurts. You've seen him able to take a team to a Super Bowl or not. I just saw Jaden Daniels. I just saw him I think the Commanders roster was okay last year. They went to the NFC Championship game last season. I've seen Jared Goff now consistently do it in 2 separate organizations with 2 different coordinators, 2 different coaches, 2 different everythings. I think Goff is the 5th best quarterback in the league right now if you are asking me to put pen to paper. And then for number 6, an honorable mention, I think Jalen Hurts deserves that number 6 spot and that honorable mention right outside the top 5 based on what he has accomplished in the postseason in 2 of his runs.
I actually agree with you wholeheartedly. I understand in these conversations more so than any other position on the football field, and maybe any other position in football in general. Rings just matter to people at quarterback, and he's been to 2 and he's won the 1. So I actually would also have Hurts 6. But if someone was advocating, hey, Jalen Hurts was great in the first Super Bowl loss, and he was better than Mahomes in the last win, and he's 1-1 Super Bowls, and Jared Goff's 0-1 in Super Bowls, okay, I'm not going to fight you too hard. I think actually it's 5A, 5B, and that's kind of the listing, but I don't know there's anyone in that conversation outside of those 6 guys. Miss me with Stroud, Stafford, Herbert, whoever, Bo Nix, if you believe Jaden Daniels, I got to see more. That's the next tier down, but they are in fact a tier down.
Coming up on the other side, I want to have a conversation about basketball and the overall state of the game. We'll also get back to the Royals. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
One of the busiest times of the year is here, and Smokehouse Barbecue is going to make things a whole lot easier. Grad parties, Mother's Day, and baseball. For your grad party, you can pick up carryout or have it delivered. Smokehouse also has banquet rooms at each location for your grad party. Bring mom to Smokehouse for Mother's Day and treat her to the best barbecue in town. And if you're heading to a ball game, grab Smokehouse carryout and take it to the game. Check out Smokehouse Barbecue in Independence, Zona Rosa, or Gladstone, and at SmokehouseBBQ.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Hello, Kansas. Looks like we're in for another heat wave this season with a forecasted high of up to $300,000. That's right. The Kansas Lottery is bringing the heat with the Hot Sevens family of tickets rolling across our state. You could instantly win up to $300,000. Plus, there's even a chance at up to $20,000 in the second chance drawing through Play On. Talk about a scorcher. Don't forget your oven mitts when you head out today. See kslottery.com for details.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at powellcasey.com.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if erectile dysfunction is making a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Heartland Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. Professional baseball is in full swing as teams are deep into the second full month of the season. 2 teams who are in contention for the top of their divisions will face off as the team in North Chicago heads into Queens for a 3-game series against New York. 2 of the best right fielders in baseball will be put to the test to see who can carry their team to a big early season series win. Don't let the urge to sing along to that catchy tune distract you from that truck drifting toward your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers available class-exclusive advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you, and Hyundai has over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't get you, IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus Awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Reliable backup power starts with expert installation done right the first time. Get $50 off any service with a whole home generator proposal. Schedule your consultation today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Eastbound 70 is closed at 18th Street for a collision. They are still clearing out. There was an overturned vehicle. We're looking at traffic backed up to the downtown loop through the southern lanes of the downtown loop as well. Hopefully have that opened up real soon. We will keep you posted. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
We were talking about the quote from Tyreek Hill. If you missed it, Tyreek Hill gave his top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League. He does not include his own quarterback.
Said, can I rank my top 5 quarterbacks? Lamar, Josh, Pat, obviously. No, this is no order, by the way. Baker Mayfield, and Joe Shiesty, too.
So that was Tyreek's top 5. And Rob and I were talking about, I think that 4 are pretty undeniable. Like, if you were making a top 5 list and you don't include Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, or Jackson, I don't care what order you put them in. It doesn't matter to me. If you don't include those 4, it's just not really a list that I'm really that interested in hearing what you think. I think the intrigue to me, if we're going to have that conversation, is who do you think is number 5? I would put Jared Goff at number 5, but I think there's a handful of guys that you can make an argument for, and I think that Jalen Hurts is one of those individuals. Someone then texted in, C-Dot, Hurts isn't that guy. He just has an amazing roster. He didn't really do a lot. His team did. The Eagles had 0 pressure all Super Bowl. It was over in the fourth quarter completely because of the defense and short fields. There's 25 other quarterbacks that win that game as the Eagles quarterback. I don't know why. This is a small group of people, so this is not a broad statement. Sometimes I don't think you guys want to tip the cap to the other quarterback when they get the best of Mahomes. Jalen Hurts has gone up against Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense 4 times. He has 10 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He averages 270 passing touchdowns. He completes 70% of his passes with a 100 quarterback rating and 55 rushing yards in those games. He has played really well against Kansas City. Now, we don't got to go back and dissect the entire Super Bowl, but I do think it's kind of a style make fight. And I think we can say, of any team in the last 5 years, what teams have matched up the best against Kansas City? I actually think it's 2 teams in the NFC. I think Philadelphia is one and San Francisco has been the other team. San Francisco matches up better against Kansas City than Baltimore has in these matchups. I also think they match up better in these games than I think we've seen Buffalo as well. Like, I don't think the Buffalo and Baltimore have matched up very well against Kansas City. Philadelphia definitely does. And I think that San Francisco has as well. But I'm not letting anybody get Jalen Hurts has played well against Kansas City, whether it was the regular season or both times they've played them in the Super Bowl. I think if you are one of those people that rings matter, and we can't knock Lamar for not winning in the championship while simultaneously not giving Jalen Hurts enough credit for actually winning in the postseason, I think Hurts has to be in this conversation. Again, I think Goff is a better quarterback than him, but I'm willing to entertain the possibility that Jalen Hurts is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league based off how I think he's performed in the postseason.
The problem with the rings matter conversation, and again, we agree, but this is my whole frustration, and it's a larger frustration just conceptually with the rings crowd. If it's a rings matter conversation, you have to have Hurts at 2. Does anyone really think Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFL?
No, I don't think that.
You don't think that? I don't think that. I don't think most sane people think that. But he has more rings than Allen. He has more rings than Lamar. He has more rings than Burrow. But I feel like most people would say, oh, those guys are all better than him. So me and you agree. But if you are a person who is saying, well, Hurts has to be ahead of Goff because rings, then it's a slippery slope to start saying, well, he has to be above this person and this person and this person and this person, because ring culture as a, data point is imperfect for a lot of reasons. But I agree with you. I think he's 5B. And if you have him in 5A, that's cool. I think that's the area he lives in. But if you told me today, hey, you have to go have a quarterback go win you a game one time, 1 week in the NFL, who you picking? I would take Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, probably even Goff, but I would argue about Goff. I'd probably take those 5 over Hurts all day.
Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I think if you take Chase and Higgins away, then Joe Burrow is nothing. Someone else says Jalen Hurts would be a bench rider without the tush push. He does have the number 1 offensive line, top wide receiver core, and a top 5 tight end. You guys know my stance on this. I just don't know how you think these quarterbacks and these teams beat Kansas City if they don't have good talent. It never makes sense to me. I don't know how you think you win the Super Bowl without having good teammates. So, yes, I'm with you. Joe Burrow needs a really good infrastructure around him. And when he had all of those things and those things were healthy, he was able to help guide his team to the Super Bowl. I agree with you. Jalen Hurts is able to win the Super Bowl because of the team that they've built around him. Isn't that the goal of this thing? Like, I thought the goal was to get the quarterback right and then put him in a position to get other things correct. I mean, isn't that what the Chargers are trying to do? That's what it seems like they're trying to do. They are failing at their plan, but isn't that what you're supposed to do? Like Buffalo, they can't figure it out. They've been trying. Well, let's go get Amari Cooper. Well, we had Stephon Diggs. Let's do that. Buffalo still hasn't played for the Super Bowl yet. So I don't want to take it away from Burrow or Hurts that Jared Goff has been given a whole lot. It's really hard to get to the Super Bowl. You have spent a top 15 pick on a running back. You spent a top 10 pick on an offensive lineman. You have fully invested in wide receivers. You had the best offensive coordinator in the league. They have given Jared Goff everything, and they choked away the NFC Championship game, and they lost in the second round last year to a rookie quarterback making his first road start. It is not ideal. It's really, really difficult, I think, to make it deep in the postseason and to go on a little bit of a run. So I'm not here to defend Joe Burrow, but I at least want to point that thing out. Someone else says, but look what Pat has done last year without none of his offensive weapons. These other dudes ain't Patrick Mahomes. So, yes, if your argument is Pat can do it, why can't Jalen Hurts? The argument for me is very simple. Pat's better than them. He's better than they are. If that's the argument, yes, you will not hear any objection from me. Why does Brock Purdy need more than Patrick Mahomes? Because Patrick Mahomes is better than Brock Purdy. That's why. That's the answer. So, yes, Pat is able to win with less of an infrastructure, but I also think last year, I think you saw, hey, the team that had the better infrastructure, their team was much better equipped to win the Super Bowl. Yes, the quarterback that had the worst offensive line, had the worst running game, the worst wide receivers, the worst tight end, that was the team that got their ass whooped in the Super Bowl too. Even though they had the better quarterback and the better head coach, why did they lose? All of the other infrastructure is much better in one place than the other place.
I also feel like, and maybe this is unique to Kansas City, this happens in Buffalo too. And I know I'm not trying to say Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are the same, but I think there are only a handful of markets in the country where the standard of is this quarterback as good is held to the, well, can he beat our quarterback light? And Kansas City is one of 2 markets on earth, and actually they're one of one, where almost no one, if anyone ever, is winning in that light. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. He won the MVP last year. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. If you ask Chiefs fans, hey, who's better, Mahomes or Allen, they would all say Mahomes, and they're right, and they would go out of their way to talk Josh Allen down. It's because when we have these quarterback conversations, people look at them through the prism of, well, what about him compared to my guy? Which is wildly unfair in Kansas City because your guy is historically great. He's chasing one person in history. He's not compared to the regulars in the NFL. But when you compare great player to great player in the NFL, that's what we should be doing. But I think this Kansas City has created this prism that they see quarterback through because of Mahomes' greatness, which no one can be held to.
Yeah, my argument. In 2022, Patrick Mahomes won NFL MVP. He had 41 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions. Since then, he had 27 touchdown passes and 26 touchdowns. And his quarterback rating went from 105 to it was 93.5. So he was, about 12 points worse at quarterback rating last year. Why? A quarterback who is entering the prime of his career, a quarterback who, for the most part, was as healthy as he has been at any point. I think it was infrastructure last year. I think it's offensive line. I think it's the run game. I think it's all of those other things. I think if you get more of that infrastructure back and the Chiefs' run game is better and their wide receivers are healthy this year, I think you get back to the Patrick Mahomes that can win NFL MVP. And I know you don't care about MVPs. You want to win the Super Bowl, but you get the point that I'm making. You get those big-time numbers with the 50 touchdowns and the 41 touchdowns. I mean, in 2018, you threw 50 touchdowns because you had the best version of Tyreek Hill and the best version of Travis Kelce. I would argue in 2022, Travis Kelce was one of the 5 best offensive players in the league that season. He threw 41 touchdowns and won NFL MVP. Last year, when you have no Tyreek Hill, a reduced Travis Kelce, and your number one wide receiver doesn't really get going until late November, that's where you get a season where a guy throws 26 touchdown passes and your offense is limited in terms of some of the big playability that you potentially have. Let's transition just a little bit, and I want to make like a basketball point that I guess is NBA related, but not really specific to the NBA because this also happens in college basketball. So yesterday, in game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Knicks and the Celtics took 20 shots in the third quarter. 19 of them were threes. They took 1 layup. They took 1 2-pointer in the third quarter of their game. They took over 60 threes in the entire game. They lost. Now, the Celtics do that from time to time. They usually have one of those games a series where they just shoot a bunch of threes. They're just not making the threes that day. I get it. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. This is one of the things about basketball that I think we are inching closer and closer to. People want a change. I think the fans of basketball have told you, we don't want this anymore. I see the 3-point as a supplement to everything else that you do. That I don't want it to be your entire offense. Yeah, I like dunks. I like crossovers. I like very fancy finger rolls and layups and all kind of other things. I don't want all you do is to shoot threes. That's what Boston's offense is. You look back to the national championship. This is just not an NBA problem. There were 122 shots that were taken. Overall, 50 of them were threes. A large majority of the shots, they're 3-pointers. What happened to the nice mid-range game? Maybe I'm talking like an old guy here. But you remember Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental? He would just stand there and knock in that little 18-footer. What happened to the little floater where your guy would drive in the lane and try to get a floater over the Giants down in the paint? That just no longer has a place in basketball. I don't think for the most part that people are tired of the 3-point shot. I think they're tired of not seeing a variety of shots. Where, Rob, you and I were talking about this earlier. It used to be when you drove in the lane, you did that to get an easier shot. You wanted to get a layup. You wanted to get a dunk. You wanted to hit a little mid-range jumper or a floater. Now, the only purpose for driving in the lane is to get the defense to collapse for you to kick it out to somebody else to shoot a 3. And you repeat this process. Both teams do this for 48 minutes. No. It's time to move back to the 3-point line. The 3-point line was not designed for everybody to be able to do it. It should be designed for elite shooters, premier shooters. Sometimes an idea has run its course and it's time for you to make adjustments. We can't have the same 3-point line in 2025 that we had in 1985. The game has changed. So I understand, yes, it would change the way that the game is played. Yes, it would change the scoring. Good. We want to change the scoring. I want guys that shouldn't be shooting threes to stop. And I want them to go try to dunk on somebody or go hit layups or floaters. I want guys like that to be discouraged from shooting threes, not encouraged to do it. To take 20 shots in a quarter and only one of them is a 2-pointer is just not entertaining basketball. It's not what I want the NBA to be. It's not what I want college basketball to be. And I hope and pray. And I understand that we are reluctant to change. Well, I don't care. It's always been like that. There was a time where there was no 3-point line in basketball. You couldn't take a 3-point shot. Now, yes, I'm happy that we have it. But again, I want them to seriously alter the line. I want them to move it back and make it much more difficult to make threes and deter average shooters from taking those threes and start taking a wider variety of shots. What happened to the little mid-range baseline jumper? It doesn't exist anymore in basketball. I'm tired of it. Maybe this is old man just yelling at a cloud. I'm sorry. I sat there and watched him shoot nothing but threes, possession after possession. I'm tired of it. I don't want it anymore. I want him to stop doing it.
Doesn't this problem might be the wrong term? Isn't it just what analytics have done to sports? And I'm pro analytics. But you and I both know the math of it says this. If a shooter is going to shoot 40% from 3 and 50% from 2, eventually that extra point makes that longer shot better. You see it in baseball. Hey, there is a chance that when you ground out versus strikeout, yeah, they're both outs, but that ground out could actually lead to 2 guys being out. There could be a double negative. So over the course of a game, it is smarter to be just a strikeout. Hey, if it's a 3-0 count, don't swing and try to get a hit. The math says you're not going to get a hit there. Let the pitch fly by, get a walk. Getting on first base is more valuable than getting a hit. And I agree with these things at their core. But as analytics exploded on the sports scene, people did the math and realized, yeah, hey, 19 threes in a quarter is tough to watch, but if they had made some of those, they would have blown the opponent out because you get that bonus point. This just seems like the either intended or unintended consequence of analytics and their impact on sports.
I don't think that you are wrong. But this would be my argument. Excuse me. My argument would be simple. I don't want an NBA that doesn't include Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, we watched him play. He was not the guy that needed to be taking 8, 10 threes a game. He was the get in the lane, floater, layup, tough shot guy. That guy was fun to watch. I don't want a baseball in which they are telling me that we'll never get another Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn wasn't a guy that hit a lot of home runs. Rob, he played 20 years in the league. He hit 135 home runs in his career. He was not a guy that was going to swing for the fences and hit 30, 40 home runs. And he did this during the steroid era in baseball. The most home runs that Tony Gwynn hit in a year was 17. You know what Tony Gwynn would do, though? Hit 380, hit 390, put the ball in play, move runners around, not strike out. There's not room for those players in sports anymore. It's so math, it's so analytic, it's so number-driven that 2 of the greatest ever in their respective fields, we just don't encourage kids to be that anymore. So that's where I push back on it, where I agree with you. I think a lot of the changes in sports, whether it's in baseball, whether it's in basketball, are algorithm driven and numbers driven. I don't know if that makes it a more entertaining game, though. Strikeouts are not entertaining to watch. Putting the ball in play is interesting to watch. You get a great defensive play. A ball gets hit in the gap and an outfielder makes a really good catch. There's the thrill of seeing if the guy can tag up and what's going to happen to the play at the plate. Baseball is most interesting when the ball is put in play. But now it doesn't matter. Strike out 150 times. No, it doesn't matter. Well, yes, it should matter. It should matter how you do it. You're right. We have now turned it into, it is better to miss a 3 than make a 2. That's weird to me. That's weird to me, especially when you and I watch enough basketball. When they shoot 2-pointers, man, they're really good at them. Like, they don't miss 2-pointers. They just don't have any interest in shooting any of them. I don't want to live in a world where that's acceptable. I just don't think that's the most entertaining product to watch.
There was actually a point in the game last night where it was when Derek White hit the 3 to go up by 1, make it 98-97. It was Jason Tatum got a rebound right under the basket. Carrington, when you and I were playing basketball, if you get a rebound and you're the best player on the team, or you're watching the NBA or college basketball and your best player gets a rebound and you are under the basket, you are taking the layup. Jason Tatum turned around and found an open Derek White for a 3. Now, that was one of the ones that actually went in, but that's just not something that we have ever seen before. And I think it is just, an unintended consequence of the statistical revolution. You asked if the modern NBA would have Allen Iverson. The answer is no. You know what the modern NBA would do? They would tell Allen Iverson to become a better shooter. Hey, you can cross a dude up and you can kill him, then make a three. That's what basically happened to Kyrie Irving. Outside of all the craziness with his, personal life and all that stuff, what was happening to Kyrie Irving was he went from crossing dudes up and making layups to crossing dudes up and hitting pull-up threes. Luka Doncic. I mean, I know that he and AI are not the same body type, but Luka can lull you to sleep with his dribble and can go right past you. But that's not what he does when he dribbles. He lulls you to sleep and hits a three or shoots a three. I think if you asked if Allen Iverson was in the modern NBA, his coaches would tell him, stop driving, keep doing that crossover, but shoot the three afterwards. And that's not better. I'm just telling you that's what's happened.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that basketball, kind of like baseball is at its most interesting when the ball is put in play because anything can happen. Error can happen. You get on base. That's when baseball is at its most interesting. Basketball is at its most interesting when it's played near the rim. That's when it's most interesting. When guys are hitting tough layups and tough floaters and tough shots, when there's resistance from it. That's when it is. This isn't interesting. I'm sorry, it's not. I love basketball. This isn't interesting. To watch a team take 20 shots and 19 of them are threes and they took one layup is not interesting. The biggest changes, and a lot of you played basketball in high school. I don't even think this is a Steph Curry thing. A lot of people say this. Rob, you and I played basketball during a time where you had a 2-on-1 fast break. You had to get a layup. These kids don't try to get layups anymore. No, a 2-on-1 is a chance for you to get an open three-pointer shot. Wait, what? How? You used to have a chance to get a 95% shot at the rim. You rather now trade that for a 35% chance at a three? It's just not that interesting to watch, in my opinion. I don't like the way the Celtics play. I really don't like it. I hate it. They're worse than what the Warriors used to be. They're worse. They took 19 three-pointers in a quarter. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Tonight, expect cloudy skies with a chance of rain and a low of 56.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Helzberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Helzberg.com or a store near you.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. KC Tech Council has 3,000 IT jobs open in March alone. 3,000! Centric can train you to do one of those jobs.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric, he's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during playoff basketball. While they score buckets, you could score cash on Underdog. Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections, and you can play now in your state. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like points, assists, and so much more. And once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. I love playing on the Underdog app, and I love combining entries from multiple sports into one selection. So download the Underdog app now, sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Some residual slowdowns eastbound 70 and the southern lanes of the downtown loop for a previous collision that was eastbound 70 at 18th Street. Things are starting to pick up a little more smoothly. There is a two-car crash reported eastbound 70 just before 635 on the Kansas side, and traffic looking sluggish southbound 71 starting at MLK. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, I want to play one thing for you, and this can kind of close the conversation that we were having. We were having a conversation about last night in the NBA playoffs. In the third quarter of the Celtics and Knicks game, Boston took 20 shots in the third quarter. 19 of them were threes. You will find this as a shock. They made the 1-2-pointer that they took. They hit 8 of 19 from 3 in the series or in the quarter, and I just don't find that to be super interesting. Obviously, I'm not anti the three-pointer in the NBA. I just want them to take a wider variety of shots. What happened to the mid-range game? The little free throw line jumper. They just don't take those anymore in basketball. I want to play this audio for you guys, and then we'll move on. This was KU's baseball coach, excuse me. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, Dan Fitzgerald. I asked him, what is the major difference between pro baseball and college baseball? Listen to his answer because it goes perfectly in line with what we've been talking about.
Yeah, very different than professional baseball with, you start with the aluminum bats versus wood bats, certainly a different game, and that big league baseball is obviously the highest form of the game we were a part of, but very different in that, in the big leagues, the home run, the strikeout, and the walk, the three absolute outcomes of an at-bat are, 75% of at-bats right now, versus college, you still have a lot of a lot of things in between. The stolen bases in the big leagues have changed, where teams are stealing more now based off of the fact that you can only pick twice to a base. But the stolen base, for the most part, is still a huge part of college baseball.
A Division I baseball coach said that in pro baseball, a strikeout, home run, or walk are around 75% of the at-bats. What about singles or doubles? I think you can argue in a lot of ways, like a double is like one of the most exciting things that could potentially happen in a game. A guy gets out there, gets a chance to run a little bit, maybe a triple. Everybody loves a triple. Who doesn't? 75% of the at-bats just feels a little off to me. Rob made the point about analytics, and I think it's a good point. I do not question on whether or not we are doing these things more efficiently than we were. I just would argue that doing them more efficiently has just made them less interesting to watch and less fun. That I don't want to see guys strike out 140 times a year. I mean, they're going to get the 27 outs. Can we just hit a deep fly ball that I think could be a home run, and we can see if the outfielder can make a great play? It seems like a good possible outcome for a entertaining, well-played game. Rob, let me ask you this question, keeping it in line with baseball. What do you think happens first? Do you think it's MJ Melendez comes back or Cags makes his major league debut?
Cags. And I have a little bit different timeline than most. Me and yours timeline adds up. I know a lot of people are getting fired up for Cags because he tore the cover off the ball today. I still think he's like August, September in Kansas City. They bring him up and see if he's major league ready, and if he is, they use him as a weapon on the playoff roster, and if he kind of struggles, then, hey, he's on the 40-man. You kind of figure it out next season, like hit the ground running at opening day. But I don't think MJ Melendez is coming back up this season. I think Cags is coming up. I think the kid Peyton Wilson is coming up. And I think the Royals are adding a bat at some point, maybe two bats, kind of like last year how they added multiple bullpen arms. I don't know MJ Melendez coming back up unless a slew of injuries comes, but I'm not betting on injuries. So I think it's Cags before Melendez.
Yeah, I would guess that too. I'm trying to find the exact number, and I apologize for not having this before we started this conversation. I'd be really curious to know how long Alex was down whenever they sent him there, because I think when this first started with MJ, now I can't speak for you, but I kind of thought that MJ was just going to go down kind of temporarily, was going to kind of get his head right, was going to perform well and play well, and then come up. Like, I would have guessed that at some point around Memorial Day, early part of June, that MJ was going to be back. I don't know how you can see how he's performing in AAA and think that he is anywhere close to coming back to the major leagues. Like, he's having the same problems down there that he was having up here. So at some point, like, you got to see MJ start to give you some hope, some optimism to get back to the prospect that we were talking about a couple of years ago as a guy that could play a little bit of outfield, a guy that could catch for you a little bit, a guy that seemed like he had a lot of tools. I mean, I think you would have to say Cags at this point. Like, I think we're having the conversation, will MJ ever be back for the Royals? Like, I know at some point Cags will be on the major league team. I don't know when. I mean, it could be in 2 weeks, could be in 2 months, could be next year opening day. But I think we all are very, very confident at some point he is going to play well enough where it is time to give him the opportunity to play in the big leagues. Are we sure that MJ Melendez gets himself out of this rut? He hasn't really given you a reason, I would say, in a year and a half to believe that he is going to get himself out of it. And you would have thought in the situation that they placed him in, you would go down there and be a cut above everybody else. I mean, you've been in the major leagues for the last 500 games. You got almost 2,000 plate appearances in the major league. You've been going against major league pitching now for 3.5 years. It does not look like it when you went back down there. So I think the answer here is clearly Cags. And now the question is, do we ever see MJ again in a Royals uniform?
I think, I don't think we'll ever get the actual answer to this, but I'm betting when JJ and co sent MJ down, they thought exactly what you thought. Go down there, get your head right, mash against a lesser level, and then, Memorial Day, you force our hand, you come back up, and people are like, oh, we get to see Melendez 2.0. Not only is that not happening at the minor league level, the guy that replaced him at the major league level has been good. Not just better than MJ Melendez. I mean, batting 107 is better than MJ Melendez, but Drew Waters has been one of the reasons why this offense doesn't stink. He's not just hitting 180 and playing a little good defense. He can actually hit. Like, what was Eric Bieniemy's comment? You got to go take a grown man's job. Drew Waters came up here and took a grown man's job. So if JJ and Co's plan was to bring him up Memorial Day, MJ hasn't held his end of the bargain up in the minors, and Drew Waters is not cool just going down because he's been good since coming to Kansas City.
I don't want to argue the particulars. Did Drew Waters take his job away, or did MJ Melendez give it away?
Can it be both?
Yeah, for sure.
Because Drew Waters, you're right. Drew Waters hadn't been Tony Gwynn, but he's been the Royals' best hitting outfielder this year. It's a low bar, but he's been the best hitting outfielder.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just looking at MJ Melendez, and if you're telling me for the last 162 games dating back to last year, you're hitting below 200, it didn't take much for somebody to come up here and take your job. They basically had to be competent. Drew Waters could be hitting 250, and you'd be like, that's an upgrade over what you were getting for MJ Melendez. So I'm with you. Isaiah Pacheco, he took somebody's job. Hey, I played really well. I outperformed you. I don't know if MJ Melendez got his job taken away. It's just, we can't let you have this job anymore. I think the Royals wanted to be patient and wanted to give him a little bit of time. There just was not really a sign that he was going to turn things around. And now you see how he's performing down in the minor leagues. I think you would have to agree. He just has not turned things around with where he is. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we had a poll question earlier today. Let me read it to you. The poll question was, if you could turn Jalen Royals into DeMarcus Robinson for this upcoming season, DeMarcus Robinson in a Chiefs uniform averaged 30 catches for 352 yards and 3 touchdowns. Would you press the button and take that? We'll give you guys the results, and we'll give you our answer next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Some residual slowdowns eastbound 70 and the southern lanes of the downtown loop for a previous collision that was eastbound 70 at 18th Street. Things are starting to pick up a little more smoothly. There is a 2-car crash reported eastbound 70 just before 635 on the Kansas side, and traffic looking sluggish southbound 71 starting at MLK. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Are you feeling tired, maybe a little foggy, or just not like yourself? Well, it could be low T. Symptoms like low energy, poor sleep, and a lack of motivation. They don't have to control your life. And at Heartland Men's Health, they specialize in treating low testosterone and helping men regain their vitality and confidence. With just a simple, quick quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com, you can find out if you're experiencing low T, and then you can book a $100 consultation. They'll run your labs, and within 30 minutes, you'll have your answers. And if you start treatment that day, then the visit is on the house. In just weeks, you'll feel more energy, get better sleep, improve workouts, and have a stronger sex drive. So don't let this hold you back. Pick up the phone. Don't wait. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health has 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Reclaim your energy and confidence today.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Step up to the plate and hit a home run with Casey's best airport parking. It's Park & Go. Great service, low price, zero hassle, open 24/7, and all spots are covered. Don't get caught looking. Strike 3. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
This postseason, BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA, is making first field goal scorer wagers more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite baller to score the first field goal, only to see him dish the rock to his teammate for the easy layup? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first field goal scorer scores second instead. That's right, simply bet on any player to score the first field goal during any playoff game. If you're right, you win, but if your pick scores second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Keep the hoop dreams alive this NBA playoffs, even if your bet misses. Grab the chance at getting your stake back at BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with character.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at powellcasey.com.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the shows from your phone, desktop, or tablet. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We don't have to make this a formal, hypothetical button game. Let's just call it an informal one. This was my question. There's a button in front of you, and for this upcoming season, you can turn Jalen Royals into DeMarcus Robinson. DeMarcus Robinson, his time in Kansas City, he averaged 30 catches for 352 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, this is not to say that in his second season he can't improve upon this, or this is not saying this is the best that he will have in his entire career. For this upcoming season, rookie year, mid-round pick, you can press the button and turn DeMarcus Robinson, or turn Jalen Royals into DeMarcus Robinson. What would you do? We have a poll out. 70% of people said yes. 30% of people said no. Now, this is not me to tell you that I don't think he will be a good pro. I actually think he is drafted in a really good spot and fits a lot of the things that I think the Chiefs like to do with their receivers. I think that's a really good outcome for this upcoming season if things go according to plan. You're talking about pick 133. I also just don't know if the targets and opportunities are going to be there from him in year one, especially not early on. Even if you believe that Rashee Rice is not going to play the first, 2 to 4 weeks of the season, just think about the guys he's behind in terms of usage. He's behind Travis Kelce. He's probably behind Noah Gray. He's behind Xavier Worthy. He's behind Hollywood Brown. he's probably behind Juju Smith-Schuster in this scenario. I don't know what realistically you can expect from a mid-round pick who's probably going to be your 5th, 6th, or maybe 7th option in the offense. So if you're telling me right now that he's going to average around 10 yards a catch and also have a couple of touchdowns this season, I'll take that this year with the hope and an expectation that next season, so 2 years from now, his 2nd year in the league, I don't think that Hollywood's going to be back on the team. If Hollywood is back on the team, either one or two things happen. It went really well for Hollywood, and they just wanted to keep him. He outperformed. They offer him a 2-3 year deal that's kind of front-loaded, and they get a chance to get out of it. Or something went wrong again, and the Chiefs got him on another 1-year cheap deal. I also think this is probably Juju Smith-Schuster's last year on the team. So I'm kind of looking at, let's build a good foundation for Jalen Royals this year. Let's get him acclimated into the offense with the hope that heading into year 2, he has firmly cemented himself as your number 3 receiver, and then you can shoot for the 500, 600, 650 with 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's how I would play it. So I would happily press the button if you're telling me that Jalen Royals is going to have almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. I'm pressing the button. Rob, are you pressing it?
Absolutely. And I think, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush here, but I think people who are not pushing the button are tainted by the name Demarcus Robinson more than the game. Because I think, and understandably so, Demarcus Robinson in Kansas City was known for running around with the ball in one hand and turning 8 yards into 6. That's what he did a lot in Kansas City. But statistically, if you can look past those moments, which did exist, I watched the games too, he was a, 350 to 500-ish yard receiver in Kansas City most every year. He also was, the 4th receiving option when Patrick Mahomes was at the peak of his powers and was the 5,050 guy and the, oh my goodness, no one can stop this offense, because even if you slowed Kelsey and Hill, he was still a viable weapon where you had to account for him on the field. So I think people who are saying no are saying no on the idea that they did not like Demarcus Robinson's tenure in Kansas City. But statistically, for a 4th receiving option, maybe 5th at times, you would take that 100 times out of 100. So yes, I would hammer the button for Jalen Royals to be 30 catches, 300-ish yards in Kansas City and a couple touchdowns, knowing that then there's a chance to develop the next year when Travis Kelce is likely not in Kansas City.
I'm looking at a comparable kind of player from last year, and this is essentially what the Chiefs got from Samaje Perine. Samaje Perine last year was their 5th option. So Kelce last year had 823 yards. Xavier Worthy had 59 catches for 638. Noah Gray and DeAndre Hopkins, oddly enough, tied. They had 437 yards receiving apiece, and Samaje Perine was number 5. He had 322 yards on 28 catches. I will sign up for this if I'm the Chiefs. I think that's a really strong year from your guy. Like, if you were telling me this is how the order is going to go this season for the Chiefs in their receiving core, not just the wide receiver room, if you're going to tell me that Rashee Rice is going to be number 1, I would say Hollywood takes over number 2. Kelsey's your 3rd option.
You have Worthy as not number 2. You have Hollywood Brown at 2.
I'll go back.
Oh, I just want to make sure I hear it correctly.
Right. I'll go back. I'll put Worthy at 2, Kelsey at 3, Hollywood at 4. And then if you're telling me that Jalen Royals in that case is your 5th option in pass catching, and that's around 350, maybe 400 yards, I think the Chiefs' offense is exactly what we think it can be if that can be the case, especially if you get back to running the football effectively last year. I know that you guys don't think the Chiefs run the ball. Their leading rusher last year had 700 yards last year and averaged 3.6 yards per carry. I mean, their 2 running back options last year, between Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, they barely got 1,000 yards between the 2 of them on almost 300 carries last year. The Chiefs did not run the football effectively at all. If you can get Isaiah Pacheco around that same usage that Kareem Hunt got last year on 200 carries, but he gets his usual 960 yards, you then space it out with some of the other guys, I then think that opens up the passing game and opens up some of the opportunity. And I think their offense just runs more effectively and runs more smoothly yesterday or than it did last year if you can run the football effectively.
I think Jalen Royals is going to be good. I also think it's possible because as you were discussing the Chiefs' offensive options, one of the reasons I'm locking it is very possible Jalen Royals isn't Demarcus Robinson in year one because the offense is not exactly running through him for a basketball term. You just laid out the options in front of him. I agree. And don't worry about the order. Brown, Kelsey, Worthy, Rice all ahead of him. Pacheco's going to be ahead of him. I think Hunt is going to get more usage, or maybe Hunt/Mitchell is going to get more usage. You're telling me offensive weapon number 7 you can lock in for 350? Yes, and yes. I think it's more likely that Jalen Royals fails to hit that number, not because he's a bust or, any of those things, just because he's buried on the depth chart, and getting 350 out of your 7th best weapon is mind-boggling and would likely mean the Chiefs offense is back to that 5,050 Mahomes type of season where it's just good luck stopping these guys. So I would lock it in because it's very possible that number is a little bit gaudy as far as expectations go.
I would say if Jalen Royals has a much better year than this, the Chiefs once again had significant injuries in the wide receiver room. Significant injuries. I think a major reason of why Xavier Worthy had the year that he had was just the injuries that happened. And I don't think, if I'd asked you at the very beginning of the season, hey, how many targets do you think that Xavier Worthy is going to get? He got 98 targets last year. I don't think that was the anticipation when we were having our offseason conversations about how many opportunities and how many targets he was going to get. I think he ended up getting thrown the ball a lot because they just didn't really have a whole lot of options at wide receiver. And if you're telling me that their second most targeted wide receiver was a 30-something that joined in the middle of the season, I think that kind of makes the point. I would say if Royals is a guy this season that gets 70 or more targets, I would say Rice was suspended longer or more injured than we had anticipated, and something probably happened to Hollywood Brown and or Xavier Worthy. I think that's really the only way, at least early on in the season, how you get on the field and how you get your usage up. I actually think this is a really good number for him, and I'd be pretty happy if that's what we got from him. I'd be really happy if we got 30 catches, almost 350 yards, and 3 scores, and was just a reliable 4th, 5th special teams option this season for the 133rd pick in Jalen Royals. Coming up on the other side, I actually think I need you guys' help with something. I'll explain. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The NBA semifinals are here, and that means all the show-stopping action continues and even gets turned up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Want to see if that guy's hitting his over consistently, or maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the FanDuel app, and once the game starts, that's when things really get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. When you place your first $5 wager, all you need to do is visit FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ to join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get in with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
What's up, baseball fans? It's time to swing big on your bets this season. Step up to the plate with an odds boost token from BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. No opt-in is required. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your odds boost token. Then place a bet on any MLB game and activate your token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. No matter the showdown, BetMGM is your betting home for baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Looking at debris in the roadway, westbound 70, right at southbound 49, just east of the triangle. And some slowdowns into downtown, northbound 35. Eastbound 70 out of the 435 exchange, also slowing down to about the Blue Ridge cutoff. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I got to talk to you guys about a dilemma that I found myself in, that I imagine many of you have also found yourself in. This will be fun for all of us. Rob, I've noticed as you get older, the things that you get invited to change. You know, there was a time in my life where if there was a pickup basketball game that was going on, I was one of the first people that you would call. I was down to go play basketball. If you were going to the arcade or you were going to the batting cages or to the go-kart track, I was one of the people you would call. Hey, Carrington, do you want to come? Yeah, of course I want to come. I'll meet you out there. As you start to get older, the things that you get invited to, they aren't the same anymore. As I am in my mid-30s and getting closer to 40, I am starting to notice that the things I get invited to the most are golf outings and poker outings. And then I realized to myself, I don't know how to do any of the things that mid-30 and older men do. I have no clue how to play poker. None. Is it too late for me to learn and pick up this skill? I feel like being a man will be a more enjoyable experience if I know how to do these things. Rob, you play golf. One way that you and I could bond is me being able to go out there with you to the golf course. Now, I could go to the driving range with you. If you want to go to Top Golf, I absolutely can do that. I can hit, ball a little bit. I mean, it might not be straight all the time, but yeah, I can swing the golf club a little bit. If you ask me to go out there and play 18, it would not be fun for you or me. We wouldn't be playing golf. We'd be playing Titleist hide and seek is what we'd be playing. Locate the ball. Where's Waldo is what we'd be playing. Doesn't sound fun for either of us. Do I need to pick up more older male hobbies? Because we're at that point where, oh, hey, my company's having a golf scramble. I don't get invited to the golf scramble. Oh, hey, we're having poker night. Come over. When I was a kid, yeah, I would get invited to come over and play Smash Bros. That's not what other 30-year-old men are asking you to do. I love to come over and play Halo. I love to come over and play Mario Kart. Rob's never asked me to do that. You go play golf with Dusty all the time. I wish that you and I had a moment like that, something that we shared. We don't. It just hit me. This happens. I would say I get invited to play poker or golf at least twice a quarter. At least. And I always got to say, well, I don't know how. And that is it. Oh, man, I guess next time. No, there won't be a next time because I don't know. You think I'm learning poker now so I can come over and lose money to you guys? If I was going to do that, I would just put a parlay on FanDuel and be happy. I'd rather lose my money that way. At least I got a chance, I feel like, winning. I feel like this is a very pivotal point in my life that in order to enjoy my 40s and 50s, I have to pick up a more manly activity. I have to. Or this isn't going to be fun.
I don't think it's a manly problem. I think it's an age-appropriate problem. Like right now, I'm trying to think, who's probably the best hooper in the city to pick up basketball? CJ Moore, maybe? He's about our age. Maybe someone a little younger. Let's say, let's use Quentin as a person in the building. Quentin calls like, you want to play pickup hoop? It is possible in that moment you are going to go get injured. You are going to hurt yourself. You are signing up for potential hospital visits because you're at the age now where you tweak a knee, you tweak an ankle. It isn't, I'll walk it off. It's, oh boy, I'm in trouble.
I agree, and I don't want to be in that situation. So I'm with you. That's one reason why I kind of stopped playing basketball. It just didn't really fit with my schedule during the day. Mm-hmm. It didn't really fit on the weekends. I had stuff I had to do, and then you're right. You know what I don't want? I don't want you thinking that we're having NBA playoff fouls. You know what the goal of me playing pickup basketball at this point is? To not hurt myself. That wasn't how I felt at 18, 19-year-old. No, I'm trying to go out there and give you buckets. I'm trying to give you work. That's not my goal now. My goal now is to get a good sweat and go home with 0 injuries. I don't want to be on the DNP list at work the next day. Hey, where's Carrington at? Well, he was playing basketball. He got hurt. I don't want to be in that situation.
I don't know that it's the most shameful thing, and maybe this is unique to our office, but if you came in one day in a walking boot and you're like, yeah, I played pickup over at Hy-Vee Arena and I tweaked an ankle and now I'm out 6 to 8 weeks, I would never let you live it down. You're 35. What are you doing out there playing pickup at Hy-Vee Arena? Absolutely not. You're going to hurt yourself. So you do need to pick up some age-appropriate activities. Now, some of those are things that are pretty easy to pick up. You could join someone's fantasy football, baseball, or basketball league. You are not a fantasy sports guy, but it's not reinventing the wheel to learn how to do it. That's it's an activity men get together and do. Golf. You're going to put in some range time, put in some par 3 time, but you after a year could figure it out and become part of the group. Poker, I wouldn't invest. I don't do poker. That's just me because there's while you're learning, you're losing money. There's no fun in that. Pickleball is one where I feel like you could pick up and be like, hey, I'm going to become an okay pickleballer.
That's the point I'm in life. Those are the hobbies I have to pick up. I'm asking. This is a, I don't know if this is an intervention. You were telling me that I am at the point in my life where now I need to pick up pickleball? When did this happen? Is this something that happened overnight? That sounds awful to me. I'm sure pickleball is a lot of fun. I don't want to be at the pickleball age at 36. That does not sound fun at all. When did we stop playing dodgeball and kickball and really fun games? And now I got to play fake tennis? That does not sound fun at all.
Here's the thing. You have to be, what's the thing? You have to be honest with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and understand who you are. A few weeks ago, I had a meeting with the sales staff, and they're like, tell me what you do on an average day. And I told them, and as I said it out loud, I was like, I'm 100 years old. I'm a washed king. I wake up, I take care of my dog, I then prepare for the show, drive to work, come home, eat dinner, watch a Netflix show, go to bed. You know what my life wasn't like? 10 years ago, that sounded like the slowest, worst life on earth. But now I'm happy because I understand you got to know your role, do your job. It's all about strengths and weaknesses. You need to understand you aren't going out there to play real tennis anymore. You'll blow an ACL. It's time for pickleball. And maybe, as much as you make fun of me, you could pick up a few IPAs on the way because if you go to a brewery, you're not having a cider and leaving. You could taste test, and it's a time with the fellas.
That's crazy to me. There has to be some. Can I join like an underhand beer league softball? I'm happy to join that. I would happily go out there Tuesday at 7 o'clock at Penn Valley and play underhand softball. I love to. Now, I don't know what position I'd be good at. I didn't play baseball as a kid, but I think I'd be a fun time to be around at this activity. Someone on the text line said, CDOT, why don't you learn how to shoot guns? That's a great stress relieving activity for our age. No! What am I shooting these guns for? What am I practicing for? No, I don't have any interest in doing these activities. None, actually. I noticed it. I'm just getting to the point where I want to be included in these things, and I can't because I don't know how to do them. I don't know how to do the older male bonding activities anymore. I don't know how. This might be the first step of admitting that you're washed. This weekend, I was at the Kentucky Derby. Rob, this is a real thought that came to my mind. We had a chance to go to a pretty prominent party. And I was thinking, man, we got a busy day tomorrow, man. I might got to go to bed early and just get a good night's rest. These are not thoughts that used to go through my head back in the day. I'd been standing up all day. I'd been drinking all day. My back kind of hurt a little bit. I didn't need to go back out anymore. I've been outside all day. These are not ideas. These are not thoughts that I used to have. Now I have them all the time. And I hate now when somebody asks me, hey, do you want to come golf with us? No, I don't have the ability. I can't. I can't golf. I don't know how. Or at least I do a little bit. I'm not good enough to come out there with you so you can laugh at me. And for me to spend all day hitting the ball out of the rough, I don't want to do that.
I'm telling you, life's about knowing limitations. I have accepted that I'm an old man despite the fact I'm 35 years old. I'm 35 going on 50, and that's fine. Do you know how I learned it? A, I can't do those young person activities anymore. I can't go play pickup hoop without fear of life and limb. And also, I went to a KU basketball game, and afterwards, my friend's like, hey, let's go to a bar and get a beer on the way out of town.
You said no. You said, I want to do this.
I said yes. We walked into the wheel, and I said, nope. I feel like everyone's dad. I got to get out of here immediately. We went home. I went to bed early. I went to Seinfeld. You were at Seinfeld, too. I had people being like, hey, Seinfeld's in. You going out? Absolutely not. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to go to bed.
You know who would have a great time at the wheel? Shannon Sharpe. He going crazy at the wheel right now.
That's sick.
That's his what?
That's a distaff.
Shannon Sharpe would have a good time at the wheel? What did I say wrong? He have a fantastic time. Drinks on Shannon at the wheel. That's what it would be. Drinks on him. Someone said shooting guns is really fun. Don't knock it until you try it. I have shot guns one time. I think I've told this story before. Honest to God. One of my roommate in college. We were good friends, but yeah, my roommate in college. He works for the Missouri Department of Conservation. He lived in Cassville, Missouri. He invited me to his house to shoot guns. I'd never done it before. I was like, yeah, sure, of course. I was like, yeah, it sounds fun. I went there and shot a gun. He handed me this shotgun, Rob, and told me to shoot at this tree. I saw what those bullets did to that tree. I didn't shoot another gun. No, thank you. I don't have any interest in doing that. I don't want to shoot anything. None. No. Y'all got it. I don't want it. I don't want to be around them. No, never again. I shot that thing the one time. None. No thought of it. Someone said, shoot a bow. All right. You know what? Now I got to turn into Zelda. I don't want to do this. That's not an activity. I got to go pick up archery now.
I will say,
am I getting ready for the Olympics?
I'm not in a league, but I've played darts. Darts ain't bad.
Let's move on.
Play a little cricket, a little darts.
You got me playing. No. Now what's next for me? Billiards? I got to start playing billiards next.
I'm just telling you, you get a crispy cold beer with the fellas, you play a couple rounds of darts, suddenly it's 8 o'clock, you go home, you've had a great time.
Okay. Can we move on? I don't want to talk about this anymore. I've felt myself getting older as we've discussed this conversation. I don't have any interest in doing a lot of these activities. Someone says you should start to grill. I've never grilled anything in my entire life.
Well, actually. That's absolutely, that's banana land.
I've never grilled anything in my entire life. No.
When you go to someone else's barbecue, do you not stand around the grill?
No.
That's a rite of passage by men.
Never.
You just stand there and watch them cook meat, and then you learn it.
Everybody at the function has a role. My role has never been the cook.
No. Just stand around it and observe and report.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that hard. I've never done it before.
So if you're not standing by the grill at the function, what are you doing?
Everybody has a role. Usually my role is, I have 1 of 3 roles. I can help control the music. I don't mind playing the music for a little bit. I think I got a good idea of what people at this function want to hear. Either play the music. I am always going to bring something. Yeah. Hey, you need me to make a...
That's not a role. Everyone's supposed to bring something.
Two Americas here. Everybody does not bring... Everybody does not bring something to the function. I'm telling you that now. Some people don't bring something to the function. I'm happy to contribute to the function. And then, I feel like I'm a good time. I feel like, hey, I'm funny. I feel like I'll lighten things up a little bit. Yeah. That's what I feel. But yeah, I just had to run that by you guys, that these are the things in life that I am dealing with. Let's get back to talking about the Kansas City Royals and how the Royals just continue to dominate the Chicago White Sox. I have been really encouraged by what we've seen from Miguel Garcia for the last couple of years. I also think Miguel Garcia is like a really interesting case of it usually takes time. And I think what normally happens in sports, and this is just not a baseball thing, it happens in anything, is I think sometimes we don't really kind of ride the ups and downs and waves of a player's career. That I think with Miguel Garcia, I give the Royals a lot of credit for. They have done that with him. And I think the Royals kind of have counted on Miguel Garcia and asked him to be a pretty vital role in what they do. And I think they're being rewarded so far. I mean, he has been fantastic. Now, do I think that Miguel Garcia is going to hit .322 this season with a .400 on base percentage this year? No, probably not. But I think what you are expecting your role players to do is they're going to kind of go through waves. He has helped carry them offensively during this time. Eventually, there's going to be a stretch in which Salvi gets piping hot, where Salvi has a 2-week stretch where he hits 600, and now he carries your offense. I think you'll have that same stretch with Vinny, where Vinny will have a 10, 14-day stretch where he's hot, where I think Miguel Garcia's biggest role for this team, even if he gets cold and the next 2-3 weeks are a little bit off, is I think Miguel Garcia bought them a lot of time as other guys started to figure it out. While Bobby has been pretty fantastic from start to finish, he needed somebody else to help him in that offense. And the person who's helped him the most has been Miguel Garcia. He has just been really, really good. That, again, I don't think that these numbers are real and are going to hold up for the entirety of the season. I don't think he is going to be an all-star this year, even though right now he is, in fact, playing like an all-star. I don't think they need him to be an all-star. They needed Miguel Garcia to be a positive for them and in an offense that it has been sold, hey, there's only 4 guys that we can count on. I don't think we're all the way there yet, but we are starting to have the conversation. Maybe it's just not the big 4 with India all the way down to Salvador Perez. maybe we need to start including Mikel Garcia, and this offense now has 5 guys that you think you can depend on. Well, is there a chance that you maybe trade for somebody and now you get to 6 or 7? If you can get this lineup to a point where you think there's somewhere between 6 to 7 guys that you can really rely on, this team could be really, really dangerous come postseason as long as they continue to get the pitching that they've gotten, and there's no reason to think that they won't.
I think with Mikel Garcia, I think people are hesitant to believe this is real because there were months last season where he was hot. I remember we had Ryan Lefevre on the show. I think it was the week of opening day. He was in studio, and he talked about how he was encouraged by the end of the year from Mikel Garcia. In the postseason, he was hitting a little better. He was getting steals. His defense was still good. And he mentioned that last May, Mikel Garcia had a great May. He had an okay April, a great May. Then he had a fall off, and then he kind of reheated up right toward the end of the season. Heat up being relative. I think why fans are hesitant to lock him in and pencil him in is, hey, you have another bat in the lineup, and if Salvi and Vinny can get going like the way people think they can get going, suddenly your lineup gets longer because Mikel Garcia is that dude. I think what happened last year has people hesitant to believe you're going to see that over a 162 sample size. I'm even hesitant to believe it can get you over a 162 sample size. But what if Garcia can be good, not scorching hot, not the best, not an all-star level player, but just good, then, and you have the makings of a lineup that is really dangerous in October. Because, Carrington, you and I both know, and I know it's a leap to talk about October in May, but in October, pitching wins. You don't see a lot of 12 to 11 games in October. You don't see a lot of, one team just throttled them. It's 14 to 2. You see a lot of 5-4, 4-3, 3-2, and the Royals pitching will keep them in all those games. So I think Garcia probably needs a larger sample this year for fans to truly believe it's real because he rode the roller coaster last year. But if it is real, the Royals are just, a bat away from having a 6-person strong lineup, and you feel like with 6 strong bats, you can compete in the postseason. Maybe you can't beat the Dodgers every night, but 6 strong bats is better than a lot of teams take to the dish.
I think Mikel's best quality is he can do a lot of things at a high level. You know what? He's a lot like Christian Brown as a baseball player. We love a cross-sport comparison. Like, Christian Brown's not the best scorer on the Nuggets, but he can give you 20 if you need him to. He's not the best defensive player in the league, but he can go up against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He can guard James Harden. He can rebound a little bit. He's going to give you energy. He's athletic. Like, Christian Brown does a lot of things at a high level in the NBA. If you look at Mikel Garcia, he's hitting for average right now. He's hitting 322. He can hit with a little bit of power. He can help you drive in runs. He can steal bases. He can play multiple positions defensively for you. Like, Mikel Garcia does a lot of things really well for this team and has been a very valuable role piece. If this team is going to break through that ceiling that you're talking about, you obviously need your stars to be stars, but you need the secondary role players to fill in and each have a very valuable role and position, and that's what I think Mikel Garcia has been. There have been a lot of bright spots, I would say, to the early season for the Royals. Kris Bubic is one of those in the rotation. He's been a bright spot. I don't know if offensively there has been a brighter spot than Mikel Garcia, and you probably would throw Drew Waters in that conversation as another offensive player that has been a big help.
I also would say, and the text line makes this point about Garcia's age, it's extra encouraging to me as a fan base with the health of the overall organization that 2 of the positives we talk about, it's not like they brought in a 31, 32-year-old and he's been one of the positives. Mikel Garcia, despite the fact he's been up a lot of his career, is 25 years old. Kris Bubic is 27 years old? These guys are either young or in the prime of their careers. These are not, veteran pieces they added. Like last season to end the year, the Royals got a big jolt from Tommy Pham. He's 36. It's great you got a big jolt from him, but he's 36. They got a jolt offensively from Yuri Gurriel. He's 40. The jolts they are getting this point in the season are 25, 26, 27-year-olds. So you feel like maybe, just maybe, the hope is they've unlocked something and it's full-time. Because if Bubic's going to do this over the course of 162 and Garcia's going to do this over the course of 162, suddenly you feel like the healthy organization is much, much stronger because now, hey, there might not be room for a Noah Cameron because you have this player. There might not be room for this, and you can start to expense those pieces like they did Will Myers, and we could be talking about baseball as a serious, from your analogy earlier, go from a B to an A student going forward as opposed to consistently being a B-level student.
Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, Miguel Garcia played a lot of baseball last year. I believe he hit a wall from playing all winter with no break. I think that makes a lot of sense for him. If you look at last year, it's just not really in line with how he was in 2023. And I think there's usually an expectation, especially for a guy that just gets more at-bats. He had 515 at-bats in 2023. He got 626 in 2024. So you're expecting, hey, if we're going to give you more opportunities, you're just expecting more production. And I don't know if that's necessarily what they got last year. Certainly not offensively, but this just looks like a much different player, the player that they had so far in Miguel Garcia. It's been really, really fun to watch. He has been very instrumental to a lot of what they have done offensively as they continue to just simply pound on the Chicago White Sox. All right, coming up on the other side, let's get back to football, and then we'll talk about the Royals in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk about Jack Caglianone. If you missed it, he hit 2 home runs today in the minors. He has hit 8 home runs in 28 minor league games and is hitting over 315. He has had an incredible stretch down there in Double-A. I think we're all expecting at some point to see a tweet come across that he has been bumped up from Double-A to Triple-A. It is just simply a matter of time before he is here in Kansas City. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
DQ presents How to Hit Summer's Sweet Spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our Stack Summer lineup. Hurry in today because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
Graduation season is always so busy around our house, and when we have important celebrations, we trust Hy-Vee. They're my go-to partner for all of our family celebrations, and Hy-Vee can help you with your graduation party planning. They have party trays, personalized cakes, cookies, floral arrangements, party decor, and so much more. Plus, you can leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. Choose from a wide range of menu options to suit your style and your budget, only at Hy-Vee.
This Mother's Day, treat all of the moms in your life like a queen. No, wait, an empress with a little help from Hy-Vee. Surprise her with a stunning floral arrangement or choose from dozens of gift cards for some retail therapy. Then bring the whole family to brunch at the Hy-Vee Market Grill. Just $24.99 for adults, $7.99 for children 6 to 12, and kids 5 and under eat free. Just one stop for endless options to crown her queen for the day. Only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Bob Burke,
founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
What's up, baseball fans? It's time to swing big on your bets this season. Step up to the plate with an odds boost token from BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. No opt-in is required. Just log into your BetMGM account to receive your odds boost token. Then, place a bet on any MLB game and activate your token. If your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. No matter the showdown, BetMGM is your betting home for baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Emergency vehicles on the scene of eastbound 50 highway on the Metro Southeast side. That's right at Chipman. That's got the left lane closed through Lee Summit. And traffic is heavy back to 291 southbound. Heavy eastbound 70 out of the 435 exchange and northbound 435. It is slow off and on from Front Street through 35. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. Rob is here as well, taking you up to 5:30 today. We hand things off to the Kansas City Royals as they potentially hope to continue beating up on the Chicago White Sox. They have dominated the White Sox for the last year or so. Yesterday, they shut them out 3-0, and they are expecting to do the same coming up later today. So I was reading an article. I believe this article was on CBS Sports. And the article was, what is the one area that every team in the NFL has improved upon the most this offseason? The answer for the Chiefs was at wide receiver, which I certainly understand how someone could come to that conclusion. But I feel like the large majority of the improvement that we believe the Chiefs wide receiver room is going to have is not really based off external moves. It's simply them getting their own guys back healthy. Like, I think they're going to get more from Rashee Rice this season than they did last year. He had 288 yards last year. I think they're going to get more from him this year than they got Hollywood Brown last year. Hollywood Brown had 91 yards receiving for them last season. I think they're going to get more from them this year. So I understand. You re-sign Hollywood Brown, you re-sign Juju Smith-Schuster, you bring those guys back. I'm not sure if that would have been my answer, though. I think the biggest improvement that the Chiefs have made this year is at cornerback. Now, you guys know I love a good cornerback room, but I'm just thinking about this room and now the versatility that they have. Now, knock on wood, but if the Chiefs' cornerback room stays healthy, it's one of the better rooms in the National Football League. You have Trent McDuffie, who has pretty firmly placed himself as one of the better corners in the league. You make a move to go get Christian Fulton, who I think fits in great with this defense. I think Noah Williams is a really, really solid pick for this team, that now you have him as that third, fourth corner. You got Jalen Watts, who certainly should be in the mix. You got Joshua Williams. You got Najee Johnson. You got a group of corners who are all under the age of 27, and you got just varying degrees. You got the ball hawk. You got the shutdown corner. Christian Fulton's a little bit taller, bigger cornerback. I really think corner is the room that they've improved the most this offseason. I'm not really sure where else you could give that answer to. Maybe you would say linebacker could potentially be that room. Maybe some of you would say DN would possibly be that situation. I don't know if they spent enough resources there for me to feel like they're definitively better this year than they were last year. But I'm looking at corner as probably the answer if you ask me what part of the Chiefs have improved the most. I really like the additions they made at corner.
I think corner's probably the answer, but I think it's like 6 and 1 and half dozen the other with pass rush, because a lot of the thought at corner is, hey, we got a rookie who eventually we think can be a guy, but he's a third-round pick, and he might not hit the ground running. That's what they have at pass rush with Noel Williams and Ashton Gelati, excuse me. They have known commodities in that room, albeit the cornerback room is known better at known commodity than D-end. But they're also hoping that their young guys take a step forward. Like, isn't the combination of Dana, Karlaftis, Aminahu, Gelati, I'm just going to not include FAU for now because that's just the way it's going to work. Like, I would tell you that's better. Like, Bink loves this stat. It's maybe Bink's favorite stat. He always talks about how the Chiefs last year were 18th in sacks. When they're winning Super Bowls, they're top 5. When Steve Spagnuolo has that defense humming, whether it be in New York or in Kansas City, they are sacking the quarterback at a high rate. Some of that's fancy blitz packages. Some of it's just, hey, go beat the guy in front of you. And with Aminahu missing large portions of last season due to health, he, in theory, is going to be healthy this season. With the thought that Karlaftis could take another step forward. If not, maybe he just is what he is. You think you have Gelati and Dana, and now maybe Chris Jones gets back to a more of a sack guy than he was last season. I mean, I know it's a lot of banking on your own guys getting better, but isn't that the area they have improved the most? Because they have at least thrown multiple swings at that position.
Yeah, I think you're right, is that's kind of been a theme to this season, is just, hey, maybe we don't need to take a big swing outside the room. All of the answers were here. They just weren't healthy last year. Like you mentioned, Charles Aminahu. I mean, I don't know if there's a player maybe outside of Isaiah Pacheco that they just got worse year-to-year drop-off. I guess you could argue Rashee Rice, but he just got hurt so early on in the season that kind of answers the question of why you didn't get as much from him this season as you did last year. I mean, Charles Aminahu in 2023 gave you 7 sacks. Last year, he gave you 1 sack. He had 11 quarterback hits in 2023. He had 1 this past season. He had 5 tackle for losses 2 years ago. He had none this past season. So the same way that I believe the Chiefs and how they handled this offseason, the Chiefs communicated how they feel about their running back room. Hey, our running back room is fine. We have Isaiah Pacheco getting back healthy. We think that last year is not indicative of who he is as a player. He's shown you the kind of player that he was. We think he's going to get back to being a 900, 950 yard, maybe a guy that has 1,000 yards this upcoming season. I would say they did the same thing with Charles Aminahu. I know we lost Tershawn Wharton. We don't think that we need to go outside and spend big money on pass rush this year. We think the pass rush answer is quite simply Charles Aminahu being healthy and being back this upcoming season. We think that answers a lot of our question when it comes to the pass rush. I will say this for Charles Aminahu. He feels like he's at that Juju Smith-Schuster point in his career. You remember when Juju was on the Steelers, Juju's contract was up. He then signed a 1-year deal to go back with Pittsburgh. It was during a COVID time. It made sense to me to want to stay on the team that you were on. So Juju stayed in Pittsburgh. Well, fast forward. That season didn't go how you wanted it to go. All right, hey, I got to go somewhere else. I got to leave. I'm entertained in Baltimore. I entertained Kansas City. I signed with Kansas City on a 1-year deal. He played really well on that 1-year deal and then got cashed out by the New England Patriots and signed that big deal. Is that not kind of what it feels like with Charles Aminahu? And Charles Aminahu is 27 years old. He'll be 28 years old this year. I mean, he got decent money to come to Kansas City, but he didn't break the bank when he signed that deal. And I'm guessing you're thinking, hey, I helped the team win a championship. I was a part of another good team. You've seen my role. Hey, I think I can potentially get a 3-4 year contract. Well, you didn't get that last year. You had some off the field issues. You had some health issues, some injury issues. Let's see how you perform. If there is anybody that should be motivated on a contract year this year, isn't it Charles Omenihu? I mean, if Charles Omenihu has 8.5 sacks this season, he's not back on the team. And he's not on this team because somebody gives him the Wharton contract. Somebody out there, a Panthers, a Saints, somebody gives him a 3-year, $40 million guarantee deal because he's a proven pass rusher that comes from a good organization. He should be the most motivated player on this team to go ball out next year.
The text line, I think, makes a really good point here. I said it was edge. You said it was corner. The article you read had wide receiver. Is there any concern that it doesn't feel like the answer is O-line? Like, me and you might be outliers, but there are a lot of people who think O-line is one of the major, if not the biggest reason why the Chiefs did not win the Super Bowl last year. I think it's more than that. I think you think it's more than that. But there are a lot of people who think the answer is O-line. The O-line wasn't good enough. I don't know O-line is an answer at all. Is that concerning that the position a lot of people point to as that's why they lost didn't get noticeably better this offseason?
I think they were potentially in a no-win situation to answer that question definitively because there were not a lot of great options for them at really any turn. And I don't know if Jalen Moore is a great option or a bad option, but if they had gone out and spent big-time money on Dan Moore, would you be excited about that? Like, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, you spent a lot of money on it, but I'm not really sure if you got a good left tackle. I think the Chiefs got the best possible answer to their biggest question this offseason. I'd much rather have Jalen Moore than have Laramie Tunsil, given what the Commanders had to trade to go get Laramie Tunsil and what his contract is. I think of all the available veteran options and realistic draft options for them, I think the Chiefs got the best and highest upside. I also think from a financial contract perspective. So I'm with you. The fact that we can't say it's O-line, what does that mean? I think the Chiefs took a swing on a player, and now we got to see if they connect on that, where everywhere else that they made an improvement, it's a guy that had been a starter in the league before, and I can go look and see what Christian Fulton's done. I can go look and see what Charles Omenihu. I can go look at Isaiah Pacheco. There just isn't that resume. There isn't that history with Jalen Moore, so it just creates the uncertainty because we just don't have enough data points, I think, to definitively say one way or the other. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the top story. And the top story is not the big league club. It's the minor league club. And Jack Caglianone, he has been on fire of late. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic is brought to you by Midwest Auto Services. Westbound 50 highway is closed at Chipman for a collision. They are clearing out. You're going to have to use an alternate route. We will keep you posted on that status. Also slow into downtown northbound 35 and 435 northbound is heavy from about 210 highway to 35. Is driving your vehicle like fighting a wild bull? Does it lead, pull, or feel out of sync when you accelerate or brake? Are you replacing tires a lot due to poor wear? Let Midwest Auto Services check your alignment. Call 816-224-4247 or MidwestAutoservices.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This postseason, BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA, is making first field goal scorer wagers more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite baller to score the first field goal, only to see him dish the rock to his teammate for the easy layup? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your first field goal scorer scores second instead. That's right, simply bet on any player to score the first field goal during any playoff game. If you're right, you win, but if your pick scores second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Keep the hoop dreams alive this NBA playoffs, even if your bet misses. Grab the chance at getting your stake back at BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Kansas City. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Holy cow, you've done it again.
We've done it again, Toby. We won the President's Award again this year. This is the 22nd time we've been awarded this awesome honor from Ford Motor Company.
But what is the President's Award?
The President's Award is the top award Ford Motor Company gives its dealers for excellence in customer satisfaction in both sales and service and their sales penetration numbers. So we are super honored to have received this award for the 22nd time.
It covers the whole works at Lewisburg Ford.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the awesome people we have working at Lewisburg Ford and helping our customers, and it really shows with this award because it's only a few dealers that get it, and we've done it 22 times.
I guarantee you this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck in the Midwest.
Absolutely. You couple that President's Award lineage with our no-hassle Toby Tobin pricing, it does not get any better than that.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Storm season 2025 is here. Get peace of mind on the health of your roof and make Century Roofing your first call. We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements. Get a Class 3 or 4 impact-resistant shingle for the same price of the standard 30-year or premium shingle. Save on your insurance premium and see why we continue to be voted best of Johnson County. Trust the pillars of strength for 35 years. KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Hey, it's Cole Riggins, and this is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Royals baseball.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
I'm a little bit sad today. It's not anything that you guys did. It's not anything that I did. It's not anything that Rob did. I'm just a little bit sad. Stephen A. Smith is going to be a guest star on Law & Order. I'm thrilled. I'm thinking, for those of you that watch the Law & Order, sometimes they have special guests. And they have like a prominent role on there. Mike Tyson, it's a big show. He's the one that gets murdered. That's not what I want. Rob, what's the point of having Stephen A. Smith on Law & Order if he's not going to be the one interacting with Olivia Benson? You were telling me that Ice-T is on this show and Stephen A. Smith is on this show, and we're not going to get a chance to see them interact with each other? I don't want to see Stephen A. Smith get murdered right before we get the doom, 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 doom. I don't want that.
But do we know it's the beginning?
They said he gets murdered in this episode.
What if he's like a witness and
he gets
then
murdered
he gets killed
later?
off? Yeah. There's more than one death sometime in these shows.
But a lot of times, though, what happens is somebody will just be having a great day. All of a sudden, next thing you know, there's this crime tape everywhere. And then they give you a little witty one-liner standing over the dead person's body. And then we get to the intro. We get to the theme song. I don't want that for Stephen A. I want to see Stephen A. Smith actually be on Law & Order.
Although, to be fair, we saw Stephen A. Smith act on, was it Days of Our Lives? Maybe we're good.
No, I want to see it. He had the little gold knot gun. Psoom, psoom. I don't know what he was doing over there.
I mean, that clip forever lives on the internet.
Yeah. I was watching TV a couple of days ago when Stephen A. Smith and Bill O'Reilly were talking about the presidency, and I'm like, yo, Stephen A. Smith, he everywhere. I don't know. I want to. The agent for Stephen A. Smith, he working harder than Steve. He be everywhere. I'm telling you, I watched. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. It was him, it was a bunch of other political people. I'm like, hey, all right, Stephen.
Well, that's because he's the candidate for president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. Might be the favorite. Might be the favorite.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think I'm happy with that result.
That's going to be crazy. One day he's going to do a presidential debate, and the next day he's going to talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron. That's how this works.
His political opponent is going to have an ad that says, and Kwame Brown, the City of Angels is celebrating because Kwame Brown is gone. And then he'll also have his political opponent have a cut that has him screaming, and he was on crack. That is a literal thing coming to your television in 2 years.
I can't wait, actually. That actually sounds like a lot of fun to me. I actually can't wait for that to happen. I really hope that we get a Stephen A. Smith political debate, like a serious one. I'll tune in. I don't even know what his political stance would be. Yes, I will absolutely turn in to watch Stephen A. Smith. All right, let's get back to serious sports things. We only got about 20, 25 minutes or so. Thank you so much for listening. This is The Drive. Carrington here, Rob here, taking you up until 5:30. One of the greatest things that you can sell is hype and anticipation. And if you can build it over time and then eventually deliver on the product, you're golden. I would say that baseball does a really good job of this. We've seen a couple of recent examples with the Royals. Now, Bobby Witt Jr., I'm going to put in a little bit of a different category. And the reason I'm putting him in this category is Bobby Witt Jr.'s first game was opening day. So there's no way to see, all right, this is the player that people have wanted to see, and we can one-to-one directly look at your boost in attendance and that people came out there with the sole reason of watching you play. Not like we can do with these other two players. So, Eric Hosmer, for those of you that have been Royals fans for a while, you remember, we talked about Eric Hosmer the way that we talk about Jack Caglianone. He was the number one player in their prospect, top 10 pick. He was the most popular Royal that wasn't on the team. The game before Eric Hosmer's major league debut, the attendance was 11,130. For Eric Hosmer's debut, it was 30,000 people out at Kauffman Stadium. This same thing again happened with Zach Greinke. And if you remember, people talked about Zach Greinke like he had a chance to be a great major league player. They ended up being right. Zach Greinke, the day before his major league debut, it was 15,004 out at Kauffman Stadium. For Zach Greinke's debut, they got 30,000 people out there. The reason I bring this up is I think we can admit this. Sometimes the Royals struggle with attendance. Even for a team that is currently winning, they're 26th in attendance and they're getting less than 20,000 people out there. Now, this is not me getting on you guys about the attendance. It's perfectly fine. But my point is that the same way that they use Big Slick as a promotion, the same way that they will use the 2015 team as a promotion to get you to go out to the ballpark, they are holding a massive chip in their hand. It's Jack Caglianone night at the K. They will play that at some point this season. If I had to guess, I think that Jack Caglianone will be up at some point in August. It is enough time where you can have him get enough ABs to help you in the postseason. And usually when the kids start going back to school and football starts to take number one priority and people start talking less and less about the Royals, the best thing that gets you back, I don't care what Patrick Mahomes is doing. For one day, he will take a backseat to somebody, and he will take a backseat to Jack Caglianone. And that is not a man who takes a backseat in this city to anybody. There's one person that can do it in August, and it's him. I know how this is going to play it out. He's having an incredible minor league start. He hit 2 home runs today for the first time in his professional career. He's hit 8 home runs in less than 30 games. He's hitting over 320, has an on-base percentage of 400. He is possibly a major league ready player right now. Like, I don't question if you put Jack Caglianone up here, could he hold his own and manage? I think he could do that. I think what the Royals are doing is the right way to play this for everybody. Let's let him continue to season and get ABs down in the minors. I think he'll probably finish out the month in AA. All right, let's have him go to Omaha for the summer. Hey, let's let him get 2 months in Omaha. He sells some tickets. He sells some jerseys. People go out to the stadium to see him play. It's great. Hey, come see the number one prospect because you might not get a lot of time to see him while he's here. And people will go see him. And then you know what happens? In August, probably middle of August, late August, when training camp kind of starts to take over, it's the number one story. Baseball's kind of getting pushed to the back burner. Man, we're going to pull out our biggest promotion yet. Mark this down, Rob. When Jack Caglianone makes his major league debut, it will be the second most attended game this season behind opening day. It will be bigger than any celebration they have for the 2015 team. It will be bigger than any celebration that they have when it comes to a bobblehead, a jersey. It'll be bigger than all of those things. It will be the biggest day at Kauffman Stadium this year that's not opening day. And that's a cheat code. It's the first game of the season. They will get 30 to 32,000 people out there, and it doesn't matter when they play that game. They could play it on a Thursday against the White Sox. Kansas City is going out there. I think you could argue right now that Caglianone is one of the 10 most famous athletes in Kansas City, and he's never been here based on where he is. I mean, he's already third on the Royals, right? He's third on the Royals. Bobby Witt's 1, Salvi's 2, he's 3, and he's never played for the Royals before. How many Chiefs people will we say at this point are bigger talking points, bigger lightning rods than him? Maybe 3? I mean, 2 are for sure. Kelsey and Mahomes. Maybe Chris Jones. He's a bigger talking point than every other Chiefs player at this point. So we're talking about he's top 10 and he's never been here. So you're telling me that we know how they play this. Hey, well, you know, Cags is coming up in a couple of days. Hey, get your tickets, get your tickets. It's going to be a massive windfall for everybody. That kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It gives the Royals a jolt and a player that we all want to see, and it will give him another 3-4 months down in the minor leagues to get ready. And you continue to get live pitching, continue to get him ABs, continue to get him opportunities. He gets 250, 300 at-bats at a minor league level. He continues to perform at this really high level, and then you call him up. And then he starts for the Royals every day for however long that's going to be. But that's what I'm guessing is going to happen with Jack Caglianone. It's just, I don't think we're at that point, but at some point the Royals are going to have another swoon offensively. I don't know when it's going to be, but I don't think Miguel Garcia hits 330 all season. I don't think Drew Waters, he's hitting 364 during their win streak. You're going to need another jolt offensively. It's kind of hard to argue that the best jolt that they don't have in their entire minor league system is not their number one prospect, Jack Caglianone.
The only thing, and I agree with you, from a purely business standpoint, you are correct. There's going to be a time in August or September where it might be picking a time. Let's say the Chiefs are playing in Brazil. It could be the Friday before Brazil, which usually on this show is, hey, full steam ahead. The roster's getting announced on Monday. College football's back. Bing, bang, boom. This show will be 4 hours of Jack Caglianone. That week, Jack Caglianone will be the talking point. The minute they announce, hey, Cag is coming up, his start date is X, it is going to be a topic on every show, of every radio show, every TV show. Everything in town is going to be Cag-centric. It does not matter the win. I mean, last year we saw the Chiefs. The Royals were in a playoff game at the same time the Chiefs were playing. People were locked into the Royals. Now, playoff games are different than Cags, but the only thing that can affect your timeline, because that's the business side, is I think if he keeps outperforming the level, you might have to have him up earlier. He might force your hand. You might, if you're the business side of the Royals, whoever the Mark Donovan of the Royals is, I'm betting that person is telling them, yo, Carrington's plan's perfect. But if he keeps outperforming, and he is currently outperforming AA, and he might be at a AA soon, if he keeps forcing your hand, can you afford to wait for the business side to celebrate? Or do you have to bring him up in June, July, ahead of August, and you have that day at the K earlier than you anticipate? Because it's just at a certain point, you can't keep holding him down. That might be the only thing that affects that plan. is his ability.
The two things that are the best things to have in sports. Number one is the superstar. The Royals and the Chiefs both have the superstar. I mean, the Chiefs have these superstars of all superstars right now. They have the best player in the National Football League. They also have one of the 5 best players in Major League Baseball. Like, you always want to have that guy. I would say the next best thing you can have is the prospect. What they have is the 5-star recruit. They have Darren Peterson. You're really excited for this upcoming year, Rob. Why? It is the hope and anticipation of what Darren Peterson can be. If he is what they tell me he is going to be, he can be the best player in college basketball, and that excites me. And it builds anticipation for the season. You can't wait for the Champions Classic because you want to see him go up against the other top prospects and see if he's that guy. Is that not what the Royals have right now in Jack Caglianone? Like, I'm looking at him. The guy dominated college baseball. He is dominating AA baseball. If you were telling me that their lineup is going to be Jonathan India, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny, Salvi, Miguel Garcia, Jack Caglianone, like that's their lineup, you can really start to dream a little bit. Hey, maybe the Royals now have 6, 7 guys that they can count on offensively. Last year, they got eliminated because they just didn't have enough bats. They had like 1.5 bats in the postseason. What if this year they got 4 or 5 of them with this rotation, with this bullpen, with this pitching staff? What could we possibly do? It's the hope. It's the selling of what you could be. And right now, I don't know if there's a better thing they can sell you than Jack Caglianone. He had an incredible day today.
I would say Darren Peterson, as your analogy, is a good one. But the Cags thing is unique because the Royals can sell you 2 things right now. The Royals are, 20-15, 20-16? They're 2.5, 3 games back of the division, the best division of baseball right now. They're a wild card team at the season ended today. They can sell you on one side, hey, we're a winning ball club. Like, that is not a bad selling point. They're not the best ball club in baseball, but they're a winning ball club. They can sell the fans that we are winning because that's happening while simultaneously selling the hope. Last year, you know why people like me and other KU fans fell in love with Darren Peterson? It's because we couldn't believe the winning. We knew the winning was not a thing at Kansas last year. It was, okay, that's not a thing. I can't remember the timeline, but if I recall correctly from Missouri, they went 6-6 the year that Luther Burden had committed. They really can't sell the winning at that point. They can just sell the hope of this kid's coming. The Royals can sell you both right now. Hey, we are winning. Come to the ballpark. We have a good chance to win, especially when the White Sox are in town. We're definitely going to win those ones. That team's terrible. They can sell you the winning, and they can also sell you the hope of we're doing the winning and watch out for this. So Caglianone's a unique experience because it's different than Darren Peterson. It's different than a 5-star recruit. It's different because they're doing the winning, and now they can add him in the fold later. They can sell you 2 different ways.
Text line 913-586-7965. Someone says, hey, I'm a diehard Royals fan, so I don't mean this negative. Are we jumping the gun because he's dominating AA pitching? Now, I understand this is different because Bobby Witt Jr. was a high school player and Jack Caglianone was not a high school player. I mean, in AA, Bobby Witt Jr. hit 16 home runs, 51 RBIs, hit 295, and had a 369 on base percentage. So like, Bobby Witt at 21 years old was really, really good in the minors. Right now at AA, the same level, Jack Caglianone has 8 home runs, has 31 RBIs. He is hitting 330 right now with a 406 on base percentage. In 30 games, he is performing better at this level than Bobby Witt Jr. was. Now, is he going to be the same player, same prospect? I'm not saying any of that. But I'm just saying I'm telling you that the way it is trending right now, I would find it very hard to believe that their plan is to keep him down there for an entire season. Now, maybe that's what they do. But I also think you just have to say, like, he just played more higher level baseball than Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby didn't go to college. Like, he got his crash course in the minors. Jack played college at a really high level, was one of the best players in college baseball, and has made a pretty seamless transition to the minor leagues and is one of the best players in minor league baseball, period. So I just think he's, at this point, a little bit further along than where Bobby Witt Jr. is because of those things. All right, Rob, we don't have a whole lot of time left. We do got a little bit of time to do the hits, though.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington Harrison's hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. Well, it is a staple. It's tried and true. It is something that happens basically every May. Tyreek Hill starts talking. I assume the podcast is coming back. I assume this is Tyreek Hill's most successful season, May. He recently was asked who his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are, and it seems like he's changed his tune on one specific player.
Said, could I rank my top 5 quarterbacks? Lamar, Josh, Pat, obviously. No, this is no order, by the way. Baker Mayfield, and Joe Shiesty, too.
Putting aside the fact that he doesn't have his own quarterback in the top 5, which is mind-boggling to me, considering he throws the best deep ball in the history of the NFL.
I just don't even know why you would do that list unprompted if it wasn't going to include your quarterback, which is only going to cause more questions of, well, why is Tua not on the list? Like, if somebody was like, hey, give me your top 5 radio producers in the city. If I don't include Rob, you guys wouldn't think, hey, that's a little funny. Ain't that your man? Like, don't y'all work together? Like, Baker, man. It'd be one thing if he said, you know, I'm going to take Jalen Hurts because he's won a ring. That would make sense to me. Or Jared Goff because he's gone to the Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield? Crazy. I don't know, man.
If you put out a tweet, it's like top 5 radio producers in the city, and I'm unlisted, if I was to, I'd feel away. I'd be like, wait a second.
Of course. How could you not
here?
feel away? It doesn't make any sense. Wait, that guy does the same job I do. Why do you think that guy's better than me?
If you're like, you know what? Quentin Morris, killing it. I'd be like, hold up.
Wow, why Quentin got to catch that? That's crazy.
He's doing a good job over there. But if he was top 5 and I was 9 on your list, I would feel away.
That's crazy, man.
Beyond Tua's nonsense about not Tua, Tyreek's nonsense about not putting his own quarterback on the list.
On nonsense.
Probably. Are you not surprised about his top 5, but who would you have at 5? Because I'm guessing those 4 are the obvious. You probably wouldn't carry a Baker Mayfield, but who does come in at number 5?
I like Baker, though. I do like Baker. I think that Jared Goff is the 5th best quarterback in the league. I think the top 4 are undeniable. And I think that Jared Goff's the 5th best quarterback in the league. That feels like the right answer to me.
I agree.
I'm still holding off for a healthy Matthew Stafford, though.
Oh, yeah, because at 38, people are in the prime of their lives.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. I like a healthy Matthew Stafford. Like, tomorrow, if you were telling me, I need one quarterback to win a game.
Please don't say that. Don't say it's Matthew Stafford.
I'm saying out of that list, not the top 4 list.
Yeah, I know. Please tell me you're still not picking Matthew Stafford.
Stafford might be number 1 on that list out of the other guys. Okay, I'm saying is there's no Mahomes, there's no Allen, there's no those
Burrow,
guys. The undeniable Fantastic 4. Yes. I think Matthew Stafford gives me a better chance to win than C.J. Stroud does. I'd rather have Matthew Stafford than have Jaden Daniels if those are my picks. Yes, I'd rather have Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford was so, as the kids are saying, mid last year. He had Patrick Mahomes was, some of the text line earlier said it was.
They had the same passer rating last year, Matthew Stafford and Patrick Mahomes did.
He threw for less yards than Mahomes and less touchdowns. He was just, his stat. I know Alex Smith catches a lot of strays as being just generic run-of-the-mill quarterback. His stat line was very 2013 Alex Smithian.
Yeah, because all his guys were hurt all year. He didn't have nobody last year.
Supposedly he has the greatest offensive mind in the NFL at head coach.
I mean, he got Puka Nacua for a little bit. He got Cooper Kupp for a little bit, but I'm still riding with Matthew Stafford. I don't care what you say. I will be unmoved.
He's 46 years old and has Tommy John.
I will be unmoved off my Matthew Stafford support is what I will be. I'll be unmoved off my support.
You think Clayton Kershaw's the best pitcher in Major League Baseball?
No.
He's old and also had arm issues.
Cole Reagans is the best pitcher in baseball. Would you argue that? All right, before we get out of here, the White Sox have not beaten the Royals since April 17th of 2024. April 17th. I just want to give you guys just an idea of how long that's been. Puffy was still free the last time that the White Sox beat the Royals. He was still free. He has been in jail since then, and his trial has started since then. I'm serious. Rihanna had a kid and is now pregnant again with another kid since the last time that the White Sox have beaten the Royals. Like, if there's one thing I know the Royals can do, it is beat up on the White Sox. I mean, they just, every night. They're going to do it again today. White Sox might not score again. Just wanted to give you guys that stat. I got more, but the music is playing, so that means I got to go. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive. Keep it right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Lucas Ertzig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Harrah's Kansas City Casino is giving away $700 every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th. And at 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will win $7,000. With over $77,000 in prizes,